There is so much, I can't say it enough. I really enjoy, I want to read your other books.
Yeah, I can send you some PDFs and stuff,
man. We should fucking do all of them into films.
No, I'll try.
Lot.
Yeah.
A whole series.
A whole series.
I turn to art, not in a way to be cool or different, but to separate myself from the mainstream. It's the same reason why I turn to philosophy and meditation. I search for myself that I haven't myself in experience. I'm only taking Plato's advice of taking advantage of another's labour. A photo, a painting, images and touching perfectionism, constructed in careful thoughts, the ability to see something that I've never noticed, reading poetry and literary fiction, to convey feelings, moods and sensations where yesterday I could not. Documentaries to learn, as cinema to explore the world from my tiny world. It's because I constantly worry I can never truly express myself in such a way that I couldn't build something from, ending in a way of moulding myself into being another, which is the only normal rather than being original. Take this not as philosophy, but just diary entries. I'm not clever or dumber than another. For that, I'll match the same to another. Experience is never duplicated in reality. Today, I won't invalidate another person. It's hard enough to feel good enough based on my own experience. It's shameful to give in that life happens to others and never to me. We've all got our problems because we've all got something we're good at, maybe regardless. I just need to greet both with a smile. I am a servant to myself, thinking of my past compared with my present, different from my steps to the future. I'm unable to live another's life, despite my dreams and envy. If you really want to hurt or disappoint your parents, be another person than them. Live another life. The price for this will be constant arguments, bickering and frowns at the gossiping cafes. This applies to your peers as well. But the fruits of originality and possible innovation, this could lead to wisdom, telling stories, leading ecstasy, attention, and of gaping awes. I'm not arguing that a vagabond life or any style that completely shuts out the world, to abandon a family or the people you've known since childhood, just a life worth living. The spectrum of human history is overloaded with the most normal people, the mundane, the working class, trends, protest. There is so much more boredom. But because it will take more than their lifetime to do so, there is no bliss or any inner marvellous world inside replicating another person. They must live their own life, right or wrong. What does it take to live fully and original? Is it to burn everything that I know, leaving it all behind? Is it maddening exile? To disregard female spaces, forgetting current thoughts and producing new thinking? Never answer the question, if I could, what would I change about this world? Only tyrants and false prophets have any control of it. Maybe the trends of culture wrestling with the God and the devil. You've got control over yourself, despite any joy or disappointment that brings. I've heard and sat down to think about the truth for far too long. I do not wish to deny it, ignore it, or to stop finding it. For me, personally, a romantic, I've turned to poetry as compensation, as my life lacks a soulmate. To me, the truth is embodied in thee. A way to change colours, to make life fulfilling, passing content and meaning. The ability to apply oneself to another, as a world and a personal history slowly forgotten and devalued, wanting to be the one saving rather than the knowing it all. It's one that ends up being saved. I often feel sorry for those in marriage that still obliges the demands of life, rather than go to work, than to spend the day with each other, to watch television, rather rewrite poetry for, suffering under the thought that it could never get better, or you would finally hit the wall. You'll never find out more about the other. Never to be open again, to be vulnerable in front of, laughing gestures, placing boundaries. When life is true, all walls are broken. If it's love, nothing else matters beside the others. Those demands of life should always be after thee, but never before or equal. Plus, it's mundane outside to what three lovers do. It's like money. I still can't buy love. And sex isn't the only form of intimacy. Love, marriage, spouses, partners, soulmates, whatever the title. It's like anything else. You get what you have the courage to go and get, knowing that what's true and lustful. It's hard to explain. Intermixing and interchangeable moods and emotions, unlike thoughts or poetry, can't truly express, for I never know who the other is. Until then, only the hopeless romantics die from a broken heart. Like I've said before, I want to make something of myself. So it is therefore a lifetime of attempting that, like the unveiling of my own character and wisdom to attain things. I shall too look at what motivates me doing so, and to do my best to thaw out any ill, such as fear, worry, anger, resentment, that always matches jealousy. The feeling of realization they did it. I got confused with living in hell. Now it's like I trust it is a tantalizing myth. People are nothing to worship. I'm delicate, fragile, sensitive because of it. I do blame myself for it too, and I take everything to heart. I wish I had permission to write about it all in detail. It could be something I leave behind for future generations. I always have been living my life. Then something bad always happens. If I had to take stand on something, I wouldn't. I'm sure that this instilled in me, in my own culture and mood and thoughts, moonlight investigations, no sunlight dimmers. I've dwelled for too long, diseased with solipsism, all because I wanted to discover myself, seeing myself only at night after a couple of sunsets, rendering being unattached. I wish my poetry wasn't written with bitter tears of vinegar in my hands. I regret the people I have met and who have left, or I have left. Now I know who I am without, or at least my heart freed from shame. Even if I am forgiven for my past transgressions, my personal fear has me worried and trembling in times of calming peace, turmoil forever, vanquished grief, loathing always, pitying nothing. It's like I've actually died inside, remaining speechless when I cry for help. No one is ever converting. In a palace, I can weep for myself. I'd rather no one else would do so. Bach and Mozart, don't break up that fight. Let them rumble. I blame no gatekeepers, no master, no idea people for culture's sake. I blame the people who had wronged me. Anyone else? I blame myself. Sad existence forsaking literature cannot fully translate into film nor lush or moving sympathies, defaming no one besides the life I could have lived, like anyone else. Where I use words instead of just sobbing to a caring shoulder, like what others do, things fully consume my grandeur character. I wasn't born poetic, just by choice. and now I'm addicted to it. To each poem ever written, a deep note, an ode, you could say, an ideal, a wish, something to aspire others to do better, without the poet doing it themselves. A pleasure to read such sweet words, a bandage to private pains the reader won't even admit to the poet. I've never really had many people to talk to growing up. I lived in a remote area. I read to help pass the time. Protest only living conditions that reality had laid out already. I don't know who to read from. The Bronte sisters? I'm unable to escape my own wrongdoings. My solace, my escapism, fantasy, an ode. To each poem I write, beauty in art does not compensate for the ugliness I know I'll eventually experience again. How sad is it when I feel how pointless life feels sometimes? I don't know why I'm writing in the first place. I don't have literally goals. I wish I was an orphan. Experience everything, including reading over theology, maddening grief, making humanity mad, a self-made disease. I applied Satanism into my life, not to worship the devil, devotion to a Turkish delight. I'm all too eager in some aspects of my character. I am interested in Victorian melodrama, providing admiration to Jane Austen. Shakespeare will always outshine modern playwrights. Winter is cold and summer is hot, the scarlet letter curse. I was predestined to be the mistress of those others. Oh God, why is it that I always taste love and romance, but have never experienced a full stomach, inspiring my very essence to be withdrawn without second guessing. People believe that I don't sacrifice rabbits, or even do retarded evil shit. That firmly believes, like their deep convictions, that the sun will rise in the morning, that I'm made of divine heaven material to be amused walking this earth, though the sun rises daily. I am dead inside, and only passing the time, seeking now only deeper and more meaningful relationships to shun society from my personal inner life. I'm a toy soldier to my despair, to which even I am unable to escape. Seeing only beauty in people comes at a price of being permanently damaged by their ugliness. Trust me, I'm no failing blossom. A common shared trait. Memory's got me doing some twitches. Like demons exist, like in transparent ways. Reality ejects my very existence. No one's life lasts long. The rules of the heart demand slavery.
Yeah.
As a chef, you have something to do. There's the
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I was just so used to.
It's an organised mind.
Yeah.
And a trained mind.
Yeah.
That's where you need to sometimes just take a breath.
Good. Capturing life. So what are your plans for tonight?
Relax.
Relax, yeah.
Yeah, nothing spectacular.
Yeah.
Housework,
Housework, yeah. I gotta do some stuff afterward.
stuff like that. Just chill.
Yeah.
I do have a good book I've been meaning to read. The Morals of. As I remain a paradox in your life, I want to witness my enemies die, taking their last breath. I'll curse them in tongues, strangle their throat. It's slower and more painful. Spit it at the priest. He don't give a fuck about your problems anyway. Life itself is a dirty circle. Get them suffering. Tell them anything. Abacus, poets, thinkers, drinking tea. A silhouette against the dark sky. They'll tell you when. Sorry. To where humanity has been manufactured, beyond the detail, the devil is in the afterglow. Hail him, now and in forever. No one is poor by choice. Material richness is a pimp's game. The commonplace dies. The devil boxes with God. You're not even in his afterthoughts. Bleeding, please, as everyone dies. No one questions why life is born and is always on the incline to death. When you see an original mystic, pay them respect or get shell-checked. Everyone gets wrecked with their secret when their secrets are exposed, to which I know. Perhaps this is why I'm so alone. Pointless outside splashing acid, sell your soul to the devil, then he'll care. I had an addict for a wife. It's my life. Poetry bangs more than street fame. As I remain a paradox in your life, I want to witness my enemies die, taking their last breath. I'll curse them in tongues, strangle their throat. It's slower, more painful. Spit it at the priest. He don't give a fuck about your problems anyway. Life itself is a dirty circle. Get them suffering. They'll tell you anything. Poets, thinkers, drinking tea, a silhouette against the dark sky, darkening everything else. And the heart of life that dwells inside of everyone and anyone lives an inhumane part of them. I'm lost and confused, so I blame conspiracy. My mouth has tasted too much bad luck. Off tuna. I follow misfortune everywhere. The glitz and glamour presses permission for anyone who pays attention to it to do vice. I'm not anti-anything besides falsehood maybe. Admire only a select few, but only go after the rare in those few. Artists are merchants of beauty. Stand naked against an oak tree. A person's life is bathed in torture. What's a redwood tree? People are only interested in scandals because it distracts the public and yourself from the moments that can cause scandals in your own life. Everyone, including me, are transcendental fucks. Poetry forms love because it's an empty doorway, a morbid intimacy. Bursting resentments. A lover's heart is held in the hand, the same way that the hand holds water. When a heart breaks, it trembles the earth and adds to culture, mainly romance art. It's a terrible journey that one burdens themselves with, from being awestruck to wanting to kill. Drama is an interesting moment of life. Literature produces an ecclesiastical gasp. Narrative drama is an interesting moment. Fuck that one again, sorry. Literature producing an ecclesiastical gasp. Narrative drama is an interesting moment of life. Paintings translate, brushes as voices, a spiral scene for theatre. Most people are placid, remaining placid till death. Poetry alone cannot change reluctant minds. visits to the Horn of Africa. It's only up to the individual to live up to their potential. Deep in a dreamless sleep, lives in transition into myth, hastening all up, tightening lips, criticizing others. I don't know what's happening in the future, but I do know I'd rather wait for it. People need remedies in life, just not yours. I have tattoos, cradling people, disciple of poetry, skies full of ecstasy, thoughts wafting across vast lands of minds with no substances, fat raining that rattles the sky, Virgil leading me into hello, bleeding gums, I don't smile, a thirst for knowledge. I like birds who gossip, it's a good conversation, then I would argue with them. Essentially, every part of life, philosophy quotes, a nostalgic heart for ancient history, forehead frowning, capturing the history of charcoal, slowly dimming away, living without knowing, plenty of blaring horns. What little time I have, I'm going to do my best to shift my flaws and to try to impact the life of others. Withering flowers, stars falling from the sky, the sun rises over poetry. Nothing is now new. We're all going to die before our time comes. When we can master reality, then people play around with trivial, petty things, including dealing with the wrong people. Nobody truly knows how to treat one another, like never getting what they want on their birthday. Silent people working in idle factories. It's a hustle. Reversing realized, a final show, a feeling of being alarmed, a notion of guilt. Pioneering for an artist's life. It makes for a lonely one. Dismissing everyone else. Swirling taunts of fallen leaves from trees that I don't want to be there in the first place. Art attributes everywhere. A fabulous elephant. A soul that had sunken into a stupor, not because of the realities of life, just seen for what it is. A memory of dazzling smiles, fleeing the floating skin, feelings of letting loose. Perception isn't under question. I've conquered nothing. I've lost everything. Spun of web, luminary of time. Life proved elusive. Flaws of the mind. Petty life concerns. Immorality belongs to the youth. A grievous fault of reality. A shimmering, magical haze where our eyes are covered in, a tenet to culture. Which if I had been die now, die never afterwards. Modern times, everyone is in a period of history. I'll always be vulnerable. I think everyone's life is a slip of the paintbrush by the genius painter. Someone with full lips, thinned out corona hair, possibly blue eyes, to which if I had blue eyes I would be sellout. Classical jazz music, avant-garde symphonies. I tried to contribute to people's lives. All I got, a smile. Then they left. A wound of love, from a labour of love. Reclining of French champagne, imported cigarettes, smoking while relaxing with silken cushions, amber-like colours, but it's all velvet. A burnt lover. I've heard of an unexamined life. What about an unexamined life? Is that worth living? One way or another, you'll be giving it up and it won't stop, dropping at the validation of another. Maybe life is just meant only for living, and if you're real, no one really cares about you, rendering suicide painless. Death is the moment later, where individuals can live, so can hell. I speak with honesty, and you say it's for your own needs. So now it's a whatever in reality. You'll die hopeless. Rabbits, goats, cats and dogs don't compare to snakes in the grass. From the marijuana smoke, don't choke. Hail Mary, I don't want to rape, just hate. Seizing now. If you're a bachelor for life, impregnate blood over a stillborn. Poetry consoles my inner soul, salt over the wounds, experiences in reality. Memories immortalize a panorama of drama and broken promises. It's a current mind state. Having sex with animals? A habit I haven't kicked yet, but I won't eat human flesh. Unless it's fresh. Sitting with vigour. Physical arts is living itself. I'm a skeptic with God, but I believe in the devil. It'll be a slow process, but I will haunt your dreams. Still bitter when you've got people in your life that love you. You just push them away, not getting finer with time, dreaming, passionate life, relaxing with the smoke after experiences to fill out memories, but you won't step out, because you'll choke. Devoted flowers of muses, what should I do with all my hate? Pay me what you owe, or find some dead bodies all over your block? Wisdom, never found in this world. I miss my mystic friends. And it's not a good feeling. Not everyone is original. I'm blessed to know another person, a bright silk. My purpose is to die hopeful. I've been living hopeless. What is a smile? When it gets dark outside, I step inside myself, but I can't escape. The melodramatics have imprinted on me. I can't escape, like the jail of emotions, futile. Get your smirk on. Living is extremely selfish, a restless silence. There is going to be some stuff that will make it hard to smile in the future. I'd rather be buried, hell-bound, than being held down, just to be stepped on. I've lost all meaning, since my life is based on mistakes I've been trying to avoid. I'm lost on the way to try to find myself. Maybe death will be a brief relief. I hope there will be nothing left, or at least lost of all memory. Cowardly hearted since conforming to performing truth. I've been creating it myself, but it's a mistake to do so. It's a lonely life. The greatest idol in human history is love. Leave the lamb alone and eat the apple. It's a priceless privilege of human nature and the ability to think and feel. Past the ancient heavenly. Let the smoke fill out of the rooms like it does with the lungs. When I was younger, my drive was to be accepted, but then I learned God doesn't like ugly. Tickle me pink. I don't think heaven is jealous. I've been years of life. Still the faces of peers change. Not only in heaven, but humanity seems to be only a series of losses and constant changes. I've made it out. Why are you trying to pull me back? Kiss me, then fucking kill me. Evidence of Eden has been written down. I'm no good. I'll quit pretending. His knife will be cutting your skin. Shifting morality, he gets to you to punch out that grin. To every secret I know, I've written it down. To every affair I've had, every arch passage, go under into my soul. I'll expose. Darkening lights, verbal apologies aren't good enough. Pressing the unconscious just makes me feel better. And I've done something with my life. Not made up shit. You conform, confusing it with truth and a rival just to get back at some boycott. Borderlining pedophilia, brief moments of relief, a distraction. When they finish, stuck with yourself. For those who want to win, see too many movies. Read poetry all the time. Nothing but poetry. Plenty of ways to die. Plenty of ways to live. A pod charm of slavish terror. Distrust everyone you meet. Distrust everyone you meet. Kill everyone. The only people who told me I'm special are the ones who left. I got warned not to hang with the Masons. They're based on loyalty. It's pointless creating yourself. Everyone you know will turn their back on you, catching feelings. No one will ever flourish in this lifetime. Even though I have got reasons to be grateful, they're all lies. I'm good for nothing. Doing good makes life beautiful. Just don't expect to be rewarded, even if karma exists. Though it still feels like you'll never understand until we've traded places. I've been touched up in 12 step rooms. I've had my drink spike, I've had married women tell me their husband's secrets, had an affair with a woman till a week before her wedding, to everyone in recovery. Take a guess who? I've been shot at 5 times and I'm still breathing. Raped 7 times as a minor. Been raped and drugged up from those spiked drinks. Had 18 men confess their closest secrets. And I'm friends with their wives. 8 of them in their rooms. Trapped in a world where it's easier to vice than to act on virtue. I've heard the last words of 8 people. Suicide is painless. Yes, life isn't fair, and only the strong do survive. It's what happens when you conform. Blame the middle class if you want, doing time for. The secrets in the dark, not knowing what for. If I'm paranoid, there is no no-no. Smack them if you're going to, but sure you break them. Life is a mystery. Good nature is artificial. Maybe a small thing to you. With emotions, it's hard to forgive. I want to die like a star, while people starve, breaking all the rules, sever a person's roots. My diary has names. Learn rules. Don't worry where it glitters. Secrets are in the most unlikely of places. Something more to it? Oh, I've been told I'm special. Muse like a strange and intriguing, well, everything with a tenacious attitude. Passion? Yeah, whatever. When you pour your soul into another's ears, stuttering words into rustic souls, the best way to keep secrets is like listen to Buddha. See no evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil. Information is a motherfucker. Don't know why I'm making this movie. I'm certainly not innocent myself. The more I leave out, what I leave in shines more. Shifting blame? No. People freak out when they meet the muses in their own life. I've never worked on a farm. It's okay to sell your soul. At any price, be warned, the price will be cheap. Nobody is ever right within themselves. Never. What do you think I was going to do? Stop thinking, stop feeling, pretend I never knew. I'm still believing that death isn't the greatest loss, that what dies inside is. Even though you tried to explain, verbal apologies now seem to have lost all meaning. Nobody knows how to live. If they trade your soul for comfort, only being concerned for people who are less, rejecting anybody else. No noble acts, just a lack of self-love. A fan, a phony, a fake. I rock transcendence. You rock toxicity. You're content with helping those until they no longer need you. Left to be alone with loyals telling you, we told you so. But life is a ride or die situation. Hardship, pain, sorrow is a definite in these lives. Poetry, amends, correction is optional. Don't focus on art. Puff out your chest. Focus on your heart. Regret everything in life that one has done to you. No one has ever been born great. What are you going to do? Do not fuck everyone you meet, wrapping their heart around you, bursting doors open, immortalized in shame. Don't tell them they're special. If nobody ain't going to stay around, you never did anything, never propped nothing, you coexist with yourself. Press upon your cornicus. Don't attach yourself onto another. You can't pay respect. You have no history. Addictions and troubles got your attention, but you live through another. I ain't going to tell anyone your secrets. inside the mind, unable to escape, still soaking up trouble, that's hellish enough. Too much hope and illusions inside. Repeat Hail Mary. The devil pays thousands for vices, but 5 cents for your soul. My family is checking my bedroom. I'm not there. Fading bloom, moon facade. I have a heavy heart. It's an influence of covenant and sacred. It's hard to be remorseful, narrative, and selfish. Somehow it still pierces me. Now I'm distant, lucid, always, but never lavishing of life. The size of mountains, the size of one almond nut. Emotions are afflictions, innocent to evil. A slow fuse. Life itself is never poetic. Maybe the soul of some. One poem can relish one moment of life. Talk afterwards. Try to translate words into images on a backdrop of vulnerability. Moods of feelings hardly expressed on a constant empty space. Beside waste. Never to be cared for. Reject what I say. Reject what others have told you. My soul melted. I'm not as strong as I would like to be. Sickness, a shade of brief moments of life that I have lived. Let go, like running water over my palm. The wilderness of the world does not match or come equal to the wilderness of a person's internal life. Tragedy is everywhere. A facial expression is a shield to the soul craving salvation. That seems to be everlasting. It's relentless and seems to be obliging us to cry. That is a crying sob that will never stop. Violent life, death is a final slumber. But what is death? I'm very, very vulnerable. Poetry imports neo moods, wanting to dress humanity that things that they've never explained. A silent centre, an inward conflict. I have an obsessive character. I'm consumed by my own self. I want to die. We're all travelling alone. A woman in poetry. Words her, words I've said. While in the present moment, words here, words I should have said, while in the present moment, an emotion, regret, shame, guilt, resentment. In bulk, I'll write my poetry, never releasing them in singular fashion. I not only want love and romance, but contentment, living memories, happiness. I want to be divorced from pain. Life is short. My regret is so large. A love of the arts. At least I contribute to that. Never again will my personal history be repeated. I have a long way to dying. It's an adult thing. Life does go on, incomplete. I'll have more to mourn for, even when faced with my own death. I mean, don't you know something is coming along that's going to completely throw you off? There's an inherent inequality that life has and brings to us. No need for these words. Pockets full of answers, discovering new values. I'm far too gone to belong to another. I yearn for love in a lover. A long string of moments stemming for life. I leave this here. I'm carrying over, leaving this here. At the time of my death, I hope people find this, to know I had lived in some way. I'm far too intelligent to fall victim of having faith in an ideology that thinks for me. I had thought, I went out and did. To know that I ended up in life at a point that is never asked for, never expected, or originally wanted. Some I wish was wanted. It is as it is. This is life in simple English words. Reading well, such as your very own emotions, is few, free, holy things you cannot pass up on. Conducting, or should I say, trying to govern yourself. Something read to find words to speak proper and well. I'm fully accepted being sad or yearning in poetry that isn't unique. Actually, it's become more normal as the mass learnt to read. I'm attracting your attention? Are my words written only for you? The tone? The structure? I don't know what my agenda is. I feel everything. Maybe I'm only randomly searching for my own original thought. The thought of the act of literature. Maybe it's my wishful thinking of hoping to encounter something magical, like a muse before their own death. Isn't this another way to just say that I'm fearful? I'm just sad of being lonely? Some things are meant to happen. Hashtag that. The representation of human nature is far beyond literature. Only the written words are only such a small part of life. It's not even the size of a single grain. Traits are everywhere. I'm yawning, I'm excited, I need sleep, I want to impress. Those famed poets will never be a cure for such human acts of anxiety and death, no matter their mastery of words, philosophical messages behind them, nor their narrative, fiction or not. Leaving behind raw handwritten notes to my lover, still I think everything about you is poetry, loaded with heart-beating life. Expressions here, metaphors pushing, poetics in my voice, living transcendental. Judgment day has not arrived. Beauty is in the flesh, flushing from my own character. My hair is done, my nails are finished, so I spoke up, and I spoke with elegance. My attitude is mutual. Listen to me as I shall pass. Mystique, but underwhelming, like I'm familiar already. You've heard my voice before. I've always been here. My art won't be cemented into gold marble, perhaps salt or a wound along the way in the afterlife, for I still crave, rendering me poor. Contentment belongs only to the rich. Lust in words, from entertaining ways. Mystics know the difference between me and you. Be with me now. I'm not in love yet. Will I ever know it? I'm realizing tension in the meantime. I don't want anything painful to be felt. That should be good enough reason never to feel again. And why not? Love on repeat. My mind is hazy. I've read letters of lovers that have once been shared between them, and I was in awe. My mouth dropped with cried tears of joy reading them, knowing that love had a moment of existence. Salute, lover, your reign in a kingdom few have ever known. Why can't love be like that in movies? Why can't it be like that? The words would suit better if I was telling you in person. Trying to think of a random thing.
Anything really, yeah. So what's it like living in the forest?
Good point.
Yeah.
So where my workstation is, right, the land goes up behind my house, and right there in my eye line is where the turkeys have got their scrub turkey mounts. And sometimes I'll be working away and I'm fully involved in doing something, and then the turkey will catch my eye, and I just watch them. And you watch them doing the scrub turkey things as they're moving the forest in, and they're effectively like building their house where they're going to be growing these little eggs and keeping the eggs hot, and that whole cycle of life is happening right there behind my window. And that stops me for a while. And then I have to get back into the mundane shit of building stuff online in IT. And you think, well, you know, their life is sorted out, still trying to sort mine out. So, will it ever be sorted out? I don't know. But the scrub turkeys, they've certainly got their shit lots more sorted than me. A few other critters around the back as well. Some land mullets, water dragons. And a while back there was these two koalas up the back. And man, koalas when they're fucking at night, the noises are like, it's demonic. It's absolutely fucking demonic. These koalas that want to be fucking each other. And they stink too. They're cute little bastards, but fuck me, they stink. You can smell them from like 20 feet away. Wouldn't be bad to just sit in a tree, sleep, fuck a furry bear every now and again.
So how's Queensland going in here?
Yeah, Queensland's always good, man. But, you know, shit government as always. Like all governments. They're all shit. They're all in for themselves. They certainly they don't do anything for you. But they do. Just not in a positive way.
Which reminds me, what are your thoughts about the Queen and the monarchy?
Yeah, it's pretty sad, man. Like, if you're of working age, you've always only had the Queen. There's been no other monarch in time, right? If you're not yet at retirement age, she's always been that ruler. And they've always had to put up with that, you know, colonial past. You know, oh, you came and invaded us, you did this, whatever else. But she didn't. She inherited the institutions that did, but she didn't. So, I don't know. See what happens under this new bloke. And you just get that feeling it's going to be a little bit more nasty, a little bit more involved. Oh, look at the shit he's done and stuff already. And I think it was probably waiting to push the old girl over. You know, he's waited 70 years to become king. And how long it will last? Who knows?
That's true, yeah.
That's an uncomfortable one.
Yeah.
But hiking through here,
Yeah.
this must hook up down through the walks down through Manly.
Yeah, there is. You have to go through a bit of suburbia to kind of, to do it, but you connect to it, sort of thing, yeah.
He's not wanting to be a fat old bastard, right? Just, old is good, but old and fucked is not good, right? So I do these hikes from Kirribilli, down along the harbour, down into Manly, and these are an all-day event. And not that I'm physically up to it, but up here is saying you will do it no matter what. So even if I've had a bit of a Friday night with some of the boys at work, hangover, no hangover, still have to go for that hike. Every time. Every Saturday, got to get up and do that hike, no matter what.
Do you like him?
Oh yeah. The hike is good, but fucking, you're out. You got to be out. You got to be out in nature. You got to engage. You got to get that fresh air. You got to get heart pumping like you're going to explode. And that's when you feel alive. And you get that achievement on that return walk when you've walked 21 kilometres and you've got to turn around and walk back. It's always longer on the way back.
Yeah.
And it's that last 3-4 kilometres you go, fuck, I hope I don't blow out my knee. And then all the shit that you did when you were younger
comes back.
The right foot fucking aches, the left knee starts to click, and the back starts to hurt because you've been carrying your backpack, and you go, oh my god. But we do it again, and again, and again.
That's true, yeah. So what kind of stuff do you find along the walk and all that?
You do find a bit of freedom. As you're hiking along the harbour, you've got this juxtaposition of this beautiful harbour with little fish and stuff in there and the water dragons on the path and this bastion of nature, and then right there is a $30 million house, and next to it's a $35 million house. And I often think, unless you've built that house, you've inherited that house through time, what the fuck do you do to be able to afford to buy a $30 million house? Plus all the trappings of wealth that go with it, the $2 million worth of cars, right? And they live high on the hog. Their expenditures are huge. 500 grand in school fees. And I actually do think, what do these people do for a job? Did they earn it properly, or were they just some narcissist that was able to rip everyone off, take advantage of every aspect of their life? Because most people don't inherit a lot of wealth. They generate it themselves. But for extreme wealth, they say good on them if you did it right. Did they do it right? Something we'll never know. So that Ponzi scammer that they found her foot in the harbour, she had a $30 million house not far from here. And so in that case, we were probably right. If you go, oh, I wonder if she scammed people to get it. Well, she did, apparently. But you just never know what goes on in these big closed doors. You know, what depravity, what sickness, or decent people. You can never know.
That's true. Yeah.
But never envious. What you have, you've earned. I hope. What I have, I've earned. No one's fucking giving me anything. Not that I care for too many possessions. My place is pretty empty. It's less to clean. When you're a bit OCD, man, you got to fucking clean all the time, right?
Yeah.
Less shit in there, less to clean.
So what kind of books do you like to read?
I like a good novel that's a little bit more action adventure, but with a lot of history in it.
Yeah.
Like Da Vinci Code. I read Da Vinci Code before it was the movie. And the book was far better than the movie. Even though Tom Hanks is alright, but the book is far, far better. Lost Army of Vices, very similar thing, but with Egyptian archaeology and then more European archaeology. But it's got to be that adventure. It's got to be that search. It's got to be that discovery of things that have been hidden. Or an economics book.
Economics, yeah.
You still got to do that.
Why economics?
To try to learn to continue to provide yourself.
That's true, yeah.
To plan. Not
be smuggled out of China. Because they were just literally destroying the industry, going into people's homes, getting rid of this symbolism of old China and burning it. And so this place near our place in Kuala Lumpur, in Jalan Alcohol, I'd never really been interested in it before until I walked into this place and found this furniture. I thought, fuck me, this is just gorgeous. And I bought 37 pieces of it. Yeah, I know, dude, it doesn't fit in my house. No, I bought it all back when I moved back from Kuala Lumpur about 11 years back, 12 years ago. And but she also used to sell art. And when she was delivering some pieces around to my place, she saw my wife's art. And she goes, I like that, I like that, I like that. Then she bought a heap of it, put it in a shop and sold it straight away.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah. It was, pretty good cash too.
Yeah.
And that sort of inspire her to not so much make the money, but to do it and get rid of the pieces. That someone will appreciate the piece for what it is.
Yeah.
So anything you do to monetize that adds that different value in the end.
Yeah.
So that fuck me, I bought way too many pieces of furniture.
Yeah.
And they're all huge, they're all big, chunky pieces. And it sort of pisses my wife off a bit because the house is always the same. Because it's full of Chinese antiques and I'm never going to get rid of them. I'm too stingy to rent a place to store them in and change the decor of the house so the house doesn't change. It's the same furniture, the same colours. Some skylights in the house and some extra lighting to sort of change things and repainted walls and so on. But put the furniture back, it still looks the fucking same. These things, we're just caretakers. Some of this stuff's 250 years old. One piece that's around 300 years old. Actually made of Burmese teak.
Yeah.
This Burmese piece I have. French colonial design. It's absolutely gorgeous. Huge table. You and I couldn't lift it up. There's four dudes to pick this fucking table up.
That's cute.
It's good, but it's short. It's like for our standard chairs, it's short.
Yeah.
I've had to find lower chairs to be able to fit under the table. So we're obviously heaps taller, so our chair to leg ratio is bigger.
Yeah.
But gorgeous piece, man. It's very calming having the old antique.
Yeah. How come?
It's just, I don't know, man. There's no smell to them like all the blues and laminates and that sort of like. If you go to IKEA, you know it's going to be disposable. It's cheap shit to use for now, right? And then it's going to fall apart. The chipboard's going to fuck up, and it's going to be out the street that next collection. You know, we walk around Newtown and Alexandria, and what do you see? 2-year-old IKEA shit fucking piled up in the streets everywhere. They've gone and bought everything else from fucking IKEA, and they're the ones that whinge about climate change, renewables, and everything. You go, fuck mate, how much chemicals and shit has been done to produce that crap that you've had in your house for 2 years and destroyed it? And you just go, oh, what a different colour, and just fuck it off.
Yeah.
You know, that are quick and do good work. You know, not fucking dodgy shit that falls apart, waste more materials, and build things properly.
That happens. The dodgy version, I've seen that in chefs. They'll get their apprenticeship and the early experience in actual fine, like high-end places towards like even to get proper Michelin star quality avocados will be like $1,000 a box sort of thing. And like that's where they'll get the experience, and they'll go to like a random cafe like here to work full time. So the thing is, they get good money for easy work.
Yeah.
And a lot of chefs still like that.
Yeah, but a good chef is worth the weight in gold.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I wish I cooked better.
Stuff because one of the previous the place that I worked pointed out the other day in Neutral Bay on the weekends your hands just start shaking. That's how much.
How much you've been working
You know,
on with
like
the
how intense and stuff. Like you'll stop and your hands will be like that. That's how quick. Everyone will be like.
That's a busy shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like on the weekends or the off day, it's just busy. The boss had to put people outside, just go outside for 5-10 minutes and breathe. Place, yeah.
If you go to a cafe, right, the food is good. Really good.
Yeah.
You don't mind spending that extra $10-20 or whatever it is for that really, really good food. But when you go to some of these on our site, we don't fucking print. Yeah, everything's built to digital forms. A lot more than a lot of people chucking the shit out of it fucking 12 months because they're bored of it.
Yeah. It's like that. Oh, let's go. At least you're documenting it.
At least you're documenting it.
Yeah, at least you're yeah.
We had fun at my place this morning, man, at North Sydney.
What happened?
Someone's whole apartment is outside on the street.
Yeah? Moving out or just?
I don't know, it's cold.
Yeah.
I mean, couch, fridge, chairs, dining table, boxes and boxes of shit. I don't know if it's like they've fucking moved out, been evicted or whatever, and didn't take their stuff with them. But the whole fucking apartment is outside.
Yeah.
And there's like, some good chairs and stuff like that, and they've been there for 2 days. So no one's like going, I like that chair, I picked it up. So the whole thing goes to waste. The whole thing goes to landfill.
Why don't people take it around? They just,
Maybe they don't need it.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Like, I haven't taken it out. But A, I don't need it. B, I don't like clutter. I'm fucking terrible at throwing shit out all the time, man. You just don't bring it into your place. But maybe the socio-economic area is a little bit different as well. You know? But, so I had this argument with this guy the other day. And he was carrying on about, we should all buy green cars and stuff like that.
Like Tesla or something.
Fair enough. And he said, well, why do you drive that 30-year-old fucking Hilux of yours?
Yeah.
I said, well, why not? I said, I gave it an engine and gearbox rebuild recently. And to rebuild was 2 boxes of parts. plus a few things of oil, right?
Yeah.
Not a whole fucking new car. A whole new car. Manufacturing that goes into that. As with mine was 2 boxes of machine parts to rebuild the whole lot. And I rebuilt it in my garage at home.
Yeah. There's actually a lot of YouTube channels out there that people actually show you how to build stuff from scratch like that for your cars. Yeah.
My first trade is mechanic.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
When I was young, boy. I realised, well, fuck, you're never going to make decent money out of being a mechanic unless you own the business.
Yeah.
And, there's fucking lots of liability there as well.
Oh, okay.
And I don't like doing brakes.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, the road rallies and stuff. Yeah.
No, I don't like doing brakes, man. I hate doing brakes. Brakes and clutches.
How come? From a mechanic's point of view? What makes it difficult, and why don't you want to do it?
Bending over all the time.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
If you're working on something, you've got to bend over all the time.
Yeah.
Unless it's underneath, you've got it up on a hoist.
Yeah.
But if you're bending over all the time, fucking destroys your back, man.
Destroys your body. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. You're bending over, trying to do something, reach down into a manifold or change something, whatever. You bend over.
Yeah.
And your back's just not made for that.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of mechanics they're either fucked when they're in their 20s,
Yeah.
right, or later.
Later.
They tend to be able to get through it. Fuck, I've seen some boys that are really fucked up at a young age.
Physically, yeah.
Yeah. And once you're fucked, you're fucked. Once you physically can't move around, it becomes painful to do that. You can't think about doing something else. Someone can't sit for too long, and they can't stand for too long, so they will sit. They can't do that for too long. And it's. But how many mechanics we're going to have in 10 years' time, mate? Because there's not much servicing on an electric car. It's just brush kits and coolants.
Yeah.
So.
All
the skill set we have will be gone soon.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It'll take a few more years, obviously, but this mechanical skill set will be gone.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. There's a lot of work generated from it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That happens too. The industries come and go. Yeah.
You don't make canvas sails anymore once you have diesel ships.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
Is this just the same as that?
Yeah. I had a bloke that I know. He's from South Africa, and his dad owned a printing press, and that's where he got his apprenticeship in. Because within 10 years that was out, sort of thing.
Dying trade.
Yeah.
And are you on the end of that trade, or has that trade still got 50 years to go?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
There's plenty of trades that are dying, but to build all these new cities, we need a lot of proper trades.
Yeah.
We can't. That are quick and do good work. Not fucking dodgy shit that falls apart, waste small materials, and build things properly.
That happens. The dodgy version, I've seen that in chefs. They'll get their apprenticeship in the early experience in actual fine, high-end places towards even to get proper Michelin star quality avocados will be $1,000 a box sort of thing. And that's where they'll get the experience, and they'll go to a random cafe like here to work full time. So the thing is, they get good money for easy work. And a lot of chefs still like that.
Yeah, but a good chef is worth the weight in gold.
Yeah.
Good chef.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I wish I cooked better.
Stuff, because one of the previous the place that I worked pointed out the other day in Neutral Bay, on the weekends your hands just start shaking. That's how much.
How much you've been working on with
how intense and stuff. You'll stop and your hands will be like that. That's how quick. Everyone will be like.
That's a busy shop.
Yeah. And on the weekends or the off day, it's just busy. The boss had to put people outside, just go outside for 5-10 minutes and breathe. If
you go to a cafe, right, the food is good. Really good. You don't mind spending that extra $10, $20 or whatever it is for that really, really good food. But when you go to some of those crap, What do they come back here for? And then when they get busted, they blame COVID, blame the poor economy,
Yeah.
and not their own decisions. They externalise everything.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, if you ask people like who've got a hospitality background, they can just visually point at whatever restaurants, cafes, and I'll go there, but I won't go there.
Yeah,
They can just take one look. Nah,
yeah.
bad food practices, dodgy, or like you said, bad food and quality food. And,
Yeah, fucking totally.
yeah.
I was in the bakery the other day, just down the street. I was buying pies and stuff, but it was so strong for the dog. And I said, would you have a bag? And she peeled the bag off and threw the bag at me.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell, that's a bit fucking rude, mate. Like, there was just no courtesy about this woman. And every time I go in there, she's like really abrupt. But when she just threw the bag at me, I was a bit retarded. I was standing there trying to open the fucking plastic bag.
Yeah, they do that. Yeah.
So I just like picked everything up and struggled back to the car.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm just not going back there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
And the food there's good, but there's good food elsewhere where they don't fucking throw bags at you, man.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah. That's some weird advice.
So flashing with celebrities. So celebrities on the cover of magazines, late nights, Vices and Nude. We all want a shot. Can I really blame people for trying to get what they can? So far it's the story of my life, sorrow in my soul. It really seems to love hanging out there. It kills me inside. No one is below dignity though. No thought is above critique. One of my regrets in addition is the length of duration of defending myself by telling others that they don't understand. They don't understand because I've never explained myself. They don't understand because of our experiences are too different. So forth, to which was my reason. But it was unavoidable. People have so much potential to do good and to be good by others. It's matched by the capacity to do wrong. One of the worst amends I've ever done is when I thought so much of them and I've done so much wrong by them. But isn't it a friend who can not only love you but also tell you the truth? I haven't met anyone yet, but I hope to do so. I'm sure there'll be more people I love that aren't wanted and people I'll hate without reason. Being angry or rage isn't something to be ashamed about. It's a part of you. It's the actions based on those that make shame or perhaps the reasons behind your feeling sick things. Like most, I wish it took a few moments to learn, rather than the duration of life that to live and to learn. When you love someone, tell them and put it into work. Action out of love is the best way to live life, but don't tell people so. To have you feeling better that you can't act on love, but no love felt for them. Sorry, that was really fucking bad. I get tired, that's the thing.
So, no, I'm sorry. No, sorry. Yeah, I was just letting you do your own thing. Sorry. I was zoned out, man. Don't worry. Sorry, man.
No, fucking...
Yeah. I was just in my own ward, yeah.
Huh?
I was in my own ward.
We can't do that.
Ignore me, sorry.
You ready?
Yeah, go for it.
I think it's a reminder that one is human. Prevent it from another time or to keep it in mind. When a similar situation appears again, own up and be honest. Secrets are made for everyone, but not everyone should know, especially the ones who are upfront about their own. Don't tell them your own secrets. When someone comes into your life unexpectedly and provides you something magical, they're for a reason. But to throw them away like trash because they're too close, you're missing out. Focusing on the differences is telling one something. The greatest success anyone can achieve is developing an original personality while having the ability to love, while being loved. In the presence of absence is the best time to reflect. Just because someone has more wisdom than you, it doesn't make them better people. It's one area of life they're leading on. When it's public, it belongs to everyone. Interruption and all, right or wrong. That's why gossip is still part of our lives. Just because someone has done something good for you, or there's duration of good times, it doesn't mean they're good for you. There is no other way to carry on than the weight of someone's flaws and their toxicity. More often than not, the good is to cover that up, or for the other to forget. While in that cycle, no one can be told. Everyone builds a persona over time. If you can't look beyond the mask, then you'll never understand the person. Can't stress it enough. Don't ever judge a book by its cover. If it's not known, you perhaps have never experienced it before, or never been privy to witness it. Though, don't let that stop you from growing or learning something. Plus, we still have to live in reality. It could be a humbling lesson of accepting one is wrong. I see it all the time. The person is my type, so it won't work. None of my peers speak about that cultural thinking, so it's wrong. They just don't understand. It's whatever the case may be. It's something new, or someone new. But one thing is certain. It's one's personal history and human perceptions are all of flaws. You've got to be open now. You've got to be open to new ideas and new people, no matter how scary living that way is. Otherwise, life will become bland. Growth comes with the new, and when the past or once being truthful to oneself becomes hurt, angry, negative, everyone around becomes insecure. You've naturally found something that's right for you, like growth within yourself. People want as it is worse for them, at their pace, etc. Just because you help someone get out of their shell, it means only you helped. People can change, remember that. They can change on their own, in volunteer terms. Anyone can. It's normal. But if shit hits the fan and they change afterwards, that's their thoughts of you. They could have done so before and realised what they were doing when you left. Think about it. It may be a cliche or something belonging to romantic novels. Breakups don't happen. Hurting doesn't happen. Self-help isn't prevented, avoided, or in denial. Life happens outside the relationship of trust. Faith happens, and they're scared of doing something, of doing anything else. Something's better out there for you, so on. And no, not everyone the opposite sex wants you. Giving up attention for sex. Perhaps you're just a decent person. There's nothing wrong with speaking up. Sometimes people are oblivious in the moment. The saddest fact about realising this stuff, I've had to tell someone in person and hopefully reach their heart, or at least be corrected so I stop speaking on the fallacy or the falsehood. I'm poetic for a reason, because I can't deal with pain. It takes a strong person to never give up on me, and I'll never tell anyone how lonely I feel. Living life, nothing here is certain, and if I try to make you laugh, it's because I want to see you cry. Isn't that all funny? Or ignore those who try to make an effort as we chase people who don't. Just because someone does something good for you doesn't mean something special. It's sad how many people will do good to cover the stains of why people should leave. Rare is the one that will be right. It's easy to grow with. It's hard to meet people who have. I don't know if it's anxiety or if I've been cursed for what it is and felt it as such. At least I know why I'm addicted to getting spliffed. Dreams of a crackhead. But what I really need is someone to calm those nerves. Don't vacuum, just drop the pill. If you want to simplify the self, there's the public and private self. The balance between potential and action are very thin. What a world. Our social circles consist of people who just want us to be happy and throw garlic at those who speak the truth. And by facing you, seeing their own flaws and wanting to grow. I feel bad for the latter. I don't reject mass culture, I just reject anything where I've got to lose my essence. It's so easy to get along with anyone who gives us a sense of self without the truths about oneself. When you can't bang on someone else's level, you have every right to be angry, not just with each other.
Cool.
Can you see the rain in the
No, a little bit, yeah. A little bit, yeah.
I think that adds to something.
Yeah.
You know, having that rain and it's a bit of rustling.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay, not speaking, don't worry about that. Do you want to start over the next one?
You obviously wrote it for a woman to deliver.
Yeah, I know. That's stock script.
Hey,
Stock script.
you ready?
Yeah, whenever. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
No, that's right. I was also getting ready. Yeah, they've all left. Whether it's by death or exile from me, I write nothing, so I see nothing. I'm unable to look after myself. It's my personal past, my unbearable thud of living. Do not tell me nice things, or you'll end up leaving. Nothing to do with me. You failed to be honest. Poems are flawless. My hero isn't Proust. I can discuss 18th century symphonies. I admire Corey Taylor. I'm born alone. I've lived alone. I'm going to die alone. This is the story of my life. I won't wake up happy, but I do dream of smiles. Over a lot of horror. Terrifying to talk to anyone. I'm a society of emotions, wanting instant gratification. Nothing I do, not even writing poetry, is therapy. My struggle is a struggle to be content. Surrender, accepting, working from my flaws simply to deny them. It's easy to resent yourself. It's my relationship with reality. It's one reason I get into literature. When I talk to people, I cannot find the right words to use, either the tone or the inclination. I guess the way people are treated can make or change or destroy the value of life itself. Don't forget, politics itself is largely made up of words. I don't write poetry to help form myself or form my character. I want to avoid showing my character in the poetry. I would rather people be a part of my life. Maybe I can't come to terms with who I am. Despite the ability to write poetry, I have no direction in life. Fire up the sadness of life, then let them loose on the ones who have directly wronged you. Do not accept forgiveness from them. I've spent my entire life around people who pretended to care. The feeling of realization that they didn't. I got confused with living in hell. Now it's like trust is a tantalizing. Now it's like trust is a tantalizing myth. People are nothing to worship. I'm delicate, fragile, and I'm sensitive because of it. I do blame myself for it too, and I take everything to heart. I wish I had. Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, we can do that.
I'll scout a few places tomorrow.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, how's it going?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Okay. We'll talk Saturday, but we'll shoot for 7 p.m. North Sydney.
Yeah? No.
Oh, she goes shoot from Kirribilli House.
Oh yeah, we'll walk around with the video camera, yeah. Yeah.
Probably shooting a film fuck off, mate.
Yeah. See security around there? Is the actual...
Oh, yeah, you just don't see it.
You just don't see it, yeah.
Yeah, the scariest security is the ones that you don't fucking see.
Yeah, that's the
I see a
thing.
few guys on the gate, sort of gatehouse sort of thing.
Yeah,
but you know there's fucking...
there's somebody there.
Oh yeah, they'll
sitting
be
there.
all over the place,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Don't think it's only residential around
Yeah, yeah, that's true, yeah.
And like rightfully so.
It gets good, I guess. They're not in your face at the same time. You just walk around.
I walk past her all the time.
Yeah.
The staircase that come up through the alongside the Governor General's place.
Yeah.
Steep fucking staircase.
Yeah.
And you're a bit fucked when you get to the top. So you stop to take a breather.
Mm.
And you go, oh yeah, no, I am on camera. I better fucking better keep going.
Yeah, that's the thing, yeah.
Yeah, otherwise, what's that long-haired freak fucking doing next to
Yeah.
the fence? Carrying a backpack. Yeah, bro.
Yeah. I'm gonna watch you drive off. Tuesday, 7 o'clock.
Tuesday. I'll see you then, bro.
See you later, man. What the fuck was that? Yeah.
A bunch of them are all over the post. Some look a bit muted. Idling there. Funny little fuckers, aren't they? Film.
Yeah.
And life will sometimes just drop a good moment. And if you're there to catch that moment with film, and then he goes on to say that chance has its own logic. It's not coincidence. There is some logic behind that chance. And that was that moment.
There you go. Yeah.
I know me well. Coffee's for fuckwit.
We'll do some extra, like, I know this seems all weird.
So weird.
Yeah.
Been asked to do some weird shit film.
Yeah.
They go, what the fuck were you thinking? How did you possibly come up with this shit? And then you see it, go, oh, that's
every suburb has these dodgy laneways.
Yeah.
The drug dealers got to have somewhere to do their business, right? But it's fucking everywhere. There's always a fucked up laneway. There's shit laying everywhere. The fucking filth and stench. This lane's probably worth about $1.5 million. And it's a fucking dodgy laneway. So hanging out in dodgy laneway, waiting for the next scene. In the rain, in the wind.
So what kind of movies do you like to watch?
Long films.
Yeah.
That's why these like 4 or 5 part miniseries are good, where they're like a 2-hour thing, so it's 8 or 10 hours, and it builds the characters, but have to be psychological, not the comic book that's gone to, like Thor and all that stuff. It's a bit of fluff, a few laughs, but it's no depth to it. Films that don't give everything away in the first 10 minutes, like most American films do. Like you already know who the killer is, or the fucking, you have a pretty well good guess of how it's going to end. But films that twist and turn, and it's not until the end that you realise all the prompts that they tried to give you were there, but you don't see them until the end. Yeah, Fight Club.
Oh yeah.
Fuck, I never picked Fight Club at all. Like, at the end I went, oh shit, that doesn't explain everything. But then, I do want to see the new Top Gun. Haven't seen it yet. It should be a bit of fun, Just be some fun. And sometimes fun is good because it's not reality. And in that moment, you're thinking about something else. You're not thinking about mortgages and income and fucking everything else that's going on. You've got to have that escapism. But my work is escapism.
Yeah. Is it?
When I train people, like I'll run a training session on a certain topic, I know the topic, which is like the script, and delivering training at work is my performance. It's still nerves, it's the same thing. Prep, knowing the topic, knowing the script, knowing how it's going to go, how you're going to wrap it up. It's the same as doing a film. And then you're performing. You're up there and you're performing to deliver it, and you try to be animated but not too animated, various cues and stuff like that. And you can pick people, and you know if you ask a question, you're going to get the similar answer. They just don't know they're part of it. But I like that performance. The performance is good. And there is certain reward and accolade from that because you get paid every month. Thanks for paying me. I'll go and perform some more. So as I often say, my work has been my biggest role yet.
That's good. Yeah. I like working. Yeah. So what describe construction and what you like the industry and all that. What does it do for society and people?
Well, driving from here to Queensland, there's probably 60, 70 kilometres worth of road that I built. A couple of guys gave me a hand, right? Yeah. A couple thousand guys. But you drive on an asset, you build something, and you build it right, and you build it of quality so it's not deteriorating and so on. So that investment is there for generations and generations to come, but also my own benefit. Right? Driving these roads and you go, oh hey, I remember being a Bobcat on here, or operating an 815 compactor doing this cut and fill. And I remember laying those bridge planks and those bridge beams and those super teaks, right? And dogging in the cranes. And the work is fun because the boys and girls in the paddock are crazy, like good crazy. Hard working, long hours, a lot of them are away from home. But it's a good game to be in. It's like having a new job every 3 years because you build this, then you go and build something else. Then you go build Campbelltown Hospital, and then you go build another road. Then you go work on Western Sydney Airport. It's a good game. Lots of crazy people. My type of crazy. And I'll tell you, man, it's smart people.
In what way?
finding different ways to do things. And not just the engineers. I mean, the boys and girls that are operators out in pain. We'll have operators that can operate everything. Graders, bobcats, rollers, scrapers, cranes, the whole lot. They can operate every machine. And they're brilliant in doing it. Because if you've got a good operator, they can do it in 1 day. What a bad operator will do in 3 days. So you're burning 3 days worth of fuel, 3 days worth of hydraulic oil, right? 3 days worth of waste. Because a good operator is really efficient, like really, really efficient. It makes some money. And, you know, even though we're a big corporate, we've got to make some money. Because we're bloody good at losing it sometimes.
Yeah.
You know? But you've got to finish and you've got to have that good asset. You know, every time I drive past some of the hospitals I built, I go, it's in use. It'll be in use for a long time. And that as a public asset, right, is improving our society. You know, access to services, access to get to the services.
Well, that's true, yeah.
Like everyone loves a good road to drive on. You don't want to be jarring around and potholes all fucking time. And, you know, it ends up looking like this. We've all seen roads like that, and particularly council ones that have been done through 3 weeks and fall apart.
Nice, man.
But I did get the opportunity to blend my two loves 2 years ago doing a corporate video. So I'm acting in my role in this corporate video. And it's the first time the two really blended.
That's like... So what do you think about documentary films and stuff?
I think the slice of life is capturing something that's never going to be again. Right? So when you watch back documentary from America in the 60s, right, the topics that they discuss, the topics that they talk about, you can't just read a book to get that. Right? When you get the expression of the people, their hatreds, their loves, the shit that was going on in their life at that time, particularly protests. When you're watching back protests, and online you can watch back a lot of the protests that happened that aren't on media, that happened, you know, in Europe last year or Europe 10 years ago, or the Yellow Vest movement that they had 4 years back before COVID. Right? And you get to get a real feel of what they're about, of what they're trying to do. It's not just what you read in, you know, in the media going, oh, a bunch of idiot protesters turned up and there was 300 of them. And you go, hang on, I actually watched that online and there was thousands of people. So you can see the stupidity of the media most of the time. Right? So documentary films to capture truth, to capture that moment that happens. It's important.
You got any personal favourites you got, or?
No.
It's just a general blanket taste.
Yeah, no, actually, no, didn't thinking about it. I think I like the protest ones.
Yeah?
Right, because it's really raw. Right, and what's the topic they're doing? What are they trying to push? What are they trying to change? What are they standing up against? Is it righteous of what they're standing up against? Well, they think it is. Do you? Do you think it is? Sometimes I don't. You know, I look at that and go, oh, bunch of idiots. What the fuck are they on about? They're protesting about something that's entirely superfluous. You know?
That's true. Yeah. That's true, yeah.
But, you know, sometimes protest is the only way to get change. Civil rights movements. But I just find the human condition that most humans are fucked. Like, seriously fucked.
That's true, yeah.
Easily led. Easily convinced. Love catchphrases. You know, social media says X, Y, and Z. People go, oh, but don't you believe in X, Y, and Z? You must be a bad person if you don't believe in X, Y, and Z. I personally am a good person because I do believe in this X, Y, and Z.
That's true. Yeah. What about...
Takes you away, touches you. It's got to have an emotion to it. And that emotion could be sadness or just a funny fucking film. Like Ted, that stupid little teddy bear that came alive. It's just hilarious, man. And this time you go, oh my god, did they really do that? But I don't like films that are too close to reality.
What do you mean?
Like a lot of the films about Nazi Germany, right? The Pianist in particular, or Saving Private Ryan. There's a story to be told, and tell that story. And for some people, it's very, very important to hear that story for the first time. But that horror, there's enough horror already in our lives. I don't need to see that horror again. You know? For other people that don't have so much horror in their life, or are not empathetic to the characters, and empathetic to the reality of what happened all those years ago, and those horrors are still continuing today, just in different forms. Some result. But those films, yeah, I'm not totally sold on that. You know, I want to sort of feel happy or different thoughts after watching a film. Not, oh fuck, look at that guy get shot. But then in Die Hard, you shoot everyone. But that's like a bit of fun, right?
Yeah, that's the fictitious, yeah.
Yeah, because it's not based on the reality. You know, what I say, humour is tragedy plus time. Right? Yeah, humour is tragedy plus time. There hasn't been enough time since World War II to have any humour about it. There could never be humour about it. Right? And so many things that continue. Like you can't make jokes about, Trade Centre bombings. Right? All these things that joke about, regardless of the passing of time.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. So you think movies and stuff like has generally done more good, or? Of course. Yeah,
of course. Well, not so much Adam Sandler's films, apart from Happy Gilmore. But generally, absolutely. Thought-provoking, fun, but also de-stressing. Getting that fucking stress out of you at the end of the day. When you want to sit down and watch a good film and a bit of escapism. Right? Particularly if you've got a mundane, fucking boring ass life that everything's on repeat every day. Right? It's good to get out and see something different. I'd like to go there one day. I'd like to go there and see that location for myself one day.
That's true, yeah.
Exposing you to different ideas. That's why I like European films.
Yeah. You got some of your favourites, or what do you like to watch, or what kind of stuff?
More of the not by title, but more of the art house type ones.
Yeah.
And the Spanish Rancallan, they make some good cop shows. They're all dubbed into English. Right? So the lip syncs a bit out. But good content, wonderful scenery, beautiful old stone streets, like, some really, you get to see some of that architecture that you never get to see. That we certainly don't have in this location. Like that, beautiful artistic fence. Film's got to move you somehow. Right? Thought-provocative, emotional, provocative. Like this one.
Pressing record.
Come on, let's go get the car.
Okay. So I wasn't expecting that cafe to close so early. I wasn't expecting the cafe to close so early.
The cloud.
The cafe.
Oh,
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we got what we needed there, right?
Yeah, we've got to see enough footage, yeah. Yeah.
Pressed upon my own soul a heavy weight, secret philosophy within my mind. Big long archway.
At the train station.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wilson's Point train station's here, and you come southbound to the bridge.
Yeah.
Kirribilli Hotel. You come up to the satellites there, and the entrance to the staircase for the pedestrian access to the bridge.
Yeah.
There's this massive archway, and it's all done in. It's a concrete archway, but it's done in timber formwork, and you can see the patterns of the formwork in this archway.
Yeah.
Right? And you know, it's fairly long. It's probably 80 metres long. It's really
Yeah.
fucking wide,
Yeah.
right? But I think it'll be a good feel in there, and it's a good little spot. And there was a film I did a long time ago, Calm Struck, made for Trot Fest. Did fuck all in Trot Fest, but it went really well around the other festivals.
Okay.
Really good film. And that's actually in the opening scene in the rain, and the colour looks good and so on. So maybe we should shoot for there for Saturday.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people around as well, so
Yeah.
it's like some movement. Bring a couple of chairs down, I reckon we fucking shoot.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
And maybe down near the water as well.
Yeah, of course. That sounds good. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good excuse to get out of doing a 24-kilometre hike too. I'll move that to Sunday.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
So what else is happening anyway?
No, fucking life is good. Yeah.
You know that
should experience a deep, intense conversation with another moment with themselves. If one's honesty can be spoken, nothing can be overcorrected. In a choir of beauty, aesthetics exist, a way to relive your own emotional excesses that dwell inside. In rap, words rhyme, so does poetry. When novels share the letters as symbols along with poetry, Tolstoy thought of art as empathy psychology. More commonly or not, art can be simplified as an innate Once a week, I think everyone should experience one deep, intense conversation with another moment with themselves. If one's honesty can be spoken, then nothing can be corrected. In a choir of beauty, aesthetics exist, a way to relive your own emotional excess that dwells inside. In rap, words rhyme, so does poetry. When novels share the letters as symbols along with poetry, Tolstoy thought of art as empathy psychology. More commonly or not, art can be simplified as an intimate portrait to the artist. Maybe this won't be received with widespread approval, where my emotions aren't fully translated by using letters as symbols. A complex thing serving a simple purpose: creativity, beauty, expression, philosophy. When it's political, an artist thinks of politics, you see. Simple. But perhaps finding love for the first time, or another way to think of art. And maybe philosophy fails, art translates where language can't. Art can, of course. It's obvious it can. It can serve as a direction to social issues. Take Tupac's song, Brenda's Got a Baby, about teenage pregnancy, where that issue still plays out today. Though not only, but that one song can serve as an example to young adult artists that maturity can exist so early in life. Brenda's Got a Baby was Tupac's first single. Some people worry too much about forgetting. Often we distort memory or even romanticize it, using art as a memory tool, keeping what we want, leaving out what we don't want. Despite art isn't viewed as preserving any experience that we had. Take the painting, Woman in Blue Reading a Letter in 1663. Reading a letter will eventually be a lost experience. As for our thoughts here, what's to privilege? Expression or civil rights? Don't let the seriousness of fine art put you off. The statue is naked. David, yes, the man who wrote all the Psalms, is standing in Italy in the nude, mocking the Greeks. And yes, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But what does that say about your judgment, your values, your life experience? Most of all, what does it say about you as a person? I don't know how much artists can take over in terms of a priest figure in society. Not everyone has studied philosophy or any form of sociology. Not everyone will spend time trying to produce original thinking. No one ever needs to lead themselves to philosophy as a profession. Emotions draw away from nihilism. Turning to artists is as bad as turning to a priest figure in everyday life or any spiritual leader. They're all human, with needs, wants, and desires. Stifling the wrong thing isn't preventing evil from happening to the innocent, but completely stopping the wrong, though, the wrong speech, the wrong art piece, anything is in evil itself. But an artist's work can't be interrupted into someone's personal life. Pillars of culture are against unknown forces. They say to think for oneself to take time, but to apply in everyday life a lifetime. If there is anything to take from art, it is to do that. Allow whatever emotions float internally and to live out, knowing another way to express. Always start first on what art does for you first, before what it does to society. I think modern society should never shy away from those dangerous thinkers. Not only they should be celebrated like movie stars, it's not what they want to provoke. Confusion sparks in those very few. But painful truths contribute more to society than anything else. It's not to support Descartes, I think, therefore I am, though, or even wanting to robotics to bring Hamlet back to life, so I can let him know it's better to be and not to be. There are several things a good person, at one point, with humility and kindness, could tell you about the most effective character flaws and still want to go and have a drink with you. But it's natural for a man wanting to indulge in his fantasy. But for now, only those radical thinkers could touch the future and bring into today. Contemporary thinking? I don't think anything of this sort. Spending time reading such people in hopes to explore other ways of viewing the aesthetics of culture. Where would homosexuality be in literature without Oscar Wilde or Walt Whitman? Government standards without Chomsky and Alex Jones? Even thinking without Sam Harris. Never stop someone from preventing their thoughts going out into the wild. The only way to stop these people is to actually think for yourself. Social criticism, a case for moody tones, volumes, composing well thought out words, though it can be considered as literate, the same philosophy, to point of it, not only trying to explain whatever, if any, philosophical messages to the general reader, it could only mean what the critic thinks. Sorry.
Spelling mistake, sorry.
I'll go back a couple of sentences.
Oh, good. What was it? Oh, sorry.
I didn't pick that one up before.
There's always typos, yeah.
It's funny when you're reading because you're not taking in the content you're reading. And normally, if I read a book, you read to read the content. So when social criticism, a case for moody tones, volume, composing well thought out words, though it can be considered as literature. The same with philosophy. The point of it, not only trying to explain whatever, if any, philosophical messages to the general reader, it could only mean what the critic wants others to think. Though each thing that materializes in regular society, it provokes something. Architecture is underrated or commonly is ignored. Technology, as it's pointed out so often, now I think is fully competing with art. The printing press and the learning how to replicate paintings was huge. Libraries were innovations for human wisdom. Everyday people now can publish their own thoughts, recording their own daily lives. Sure, they may not employ myths as messages or metaphors to the art to which the artist does. The internet extending the motion of free actions. But in recent times, the troubles with Facebook, I think it's a wake-up call for the general public that having this amount of public freedom doesn't always mean you should. Like, what am I doing now? By releasing into the wild the government, think tanks, and whatever now has more and easier ways to collect information, where prior it's shifting into the methods that they collected the information about the everyday person. Modern ethics are always up for question. I don't know what your problem is. Real beauty isn't articulate. Like sex, maybe it's the experience or the ability to feel pleasure, a moment without doubt. Conception in sex killed the double standard of sexual choices. And of course, not all the care. Sex itself can go without shame and regret. The veil of the outside, maybe all it is to display what inside feels like identity. Perhaps beauty can only be expressed. I always think that real beauty has some form of mythological part to it, rising the explicit ways, revealing honesty that can be turned away from. The idea of freedom of speech stops in common talk, limiting to our behaviours. In pornography, expressing what most had yearned to do. A display of sexuality is at the core basic humanity. It's reproduction. At least pornography isn't dishonesty. The art is satire, though it's easy to say the truths are in plain sight. The running of stories about the Illuminati, that is, makes sense, explaining what the world is. But the veil of it just being fictitious stories, well, that's silly. Remember, humanity corrupts power, not the other way around. As for the systems in place, it's a fight better than results. Even if the earth had no elite in societies, still not reaching for a better life and unforgivable folly of humanity. And if you learn anything about literature, truth is stranger than fiction. And the most bizarre art, the most graphic art, it presents itself as art. Normally the world would at least accept it as art, though when applying it to reality, hesitant. But to what's normal in one's culture, at first it's a little strange in another culture, where in the West steak is a common meal, meanwhile in India cows are worshipped. At the moment I'm sure the end gathers only immorality, while working death is a master. We're working so hard to get to a stage of success, who wouldn't blame them for wanting to stay there while they're still alive? Maybe it's the motivation to distribute the ways of others, the lower classes, to stay where they are, so no one is replaced. At least for now, in anger, we break the glass of the Starbucks store while aiming for a professional goal.
Really good.
Watchable?
Yeah. Whatever.
Those with the loudest minds. Fuck. Those with the loudest minds are the quietest voices. I don't think money is what people love, just admiration. Money is a keystone for measurement. God hates sin. Satan punishes the sin. The internet is doing more for global culture than any other political party is doing. Constructive criticism is important. I don't think social media is inherently either good or bad, but it has highlighted a lack of and the lacking of emotional maturity. Venting is easier. Rather processing an idea and finding articulated language to present it publicly. But the awareness of people's lives is knowing what they're good at, providing valuable info for those in charge. Not often is social media credited as a copying system to provide a platform to vent, rather than bottling it up and finding someone caring enough to sit and listen. Pre-existing condition and the discovery of triggers too, you'd never know who's watching. Though a well-balanced thought of the duality of whatever can provide more credit, the rise of valuable things has come out of the online world. Without the internet or social media in particular, ethical views, movements, ideas, education would only have minimal views. And yes, the same with disinformation. Fuck, I wouldn't be able to do the same. There's a cyberbully, lack of privacy, and an impact of interpersonal relationships in the face-to-face world. But your lack of education or language itself could be the cause of the negative impacts of social media. The term friend online does provide an intimate bond between people. Yes, you could have friends online for a moment and in the presence of one another, but a range between the two in a geographical sense and in the real world prevents any certain skills from being at play. At least there are platforms now for those who have something to offer and to build an audience. On the climate of the world, opportunity is equal, but matching the equality of those who take it. Know the relation between the outlaw and the entrepreneur. You get to an age where things in life start affecting your immune system, and if you're still on the vice, cycles and circles, shame. There's a grey area of providing wisdom and projecting the results of people's choices. You're an arsehole while not looking out for them, and you're taking away their ability to grow as a person. Only it's a silver lining between virtue and vice. The truth is, I don't think there are many people I would call. Being a little nervous, anxious, a little doubt could go a long way when it comes to love. At least you know the other person feels presently with motivation to improve. I don't know why people get turned off by that. Nothing else would scare me more than being married to a person who I'm indefinite language. Nothing else would scare me more than being married to a person who I'm certain indefinite language to describe. Does that sound right? But I don't know why people would get turned off by that. Nothing else would scare me more than being married to a person who I'm certain indefinite language to describe. I'm not advocating to fall in love with potential, but you all get the gist of it all. Loving them now, leaving space to improve, as I do to the same. At least keep it private, not a secret. When you have enough people telling you something, the common denominator is you. Law is not only what we can't do, but a reflection on us as well. Support originality in individuality first. Reforming the word.
Logan.
Not only what we can't do, but a reflection on us as well. Support originality in individuality first. Reforming the world is in searching for perfection. Immorality belongs to the youth, wisdom for the older, but regret and shame is for all. But you get to an age where one's character is so important. There will always be problems with modern times. No one has the answers. It may be simple, but everyone alive has contributed to the good and evil of this earth. Poetry is a funny thing. Ever heard what I said? From all I did. It's all that they ever saw, but no one set out to see who I am. No, very rarely that interpersonal relationships never gave philosophical attention. Love never happens until it happens to you. Worship no person. It's never my issue to enlighten other people, but I am responsible for myself and for my spoken word. Understanding it two ways, I am blessed to show, to explain, whatever to someone who wouldn't know otherwise, because I'm blessed to learn things when I was once ignorant of. Read more, think more, then speak more. You'll never know what you will find. That's the end of that. I've read this one. Now, I think I have to be more prepared for
That's okay, yeah.
I can't do it off the cuff.
No, it's alright.
I think for me,
The prep, yeah.
yeah, there's a difference there.
Mm.
Yes, it's prep,
Mm.
but anything acting can't be my normal life,
Mm.
which is why I use a stage name. I don't use my name.
Yeah.
Right? And using the name of Wayne Niven,
Mm.
the actor David Niven
Mm.
from The Moon's a Balloon, Bring On the Empty Horses books, right? Guns of Navarone.
Oh, yeah, I've
Right?
heard of that, yeah.
Right? So David Niven is my third cousin through my mother.
Oh, okay.
Right?
There you
So
go.
granddad,
Yeah.
first cousin,
Mm.
of the Scottish side.
Mm.
And so I've always thought, I'll give the old fella a little nod
Mm.
and use Wayne Niven. Sometimes I have fucked up though and used my real name in some short films
Mm.
where I haven't like
Pointed it out, yeah.
fucking gone, fuck, I should have fucking made that clearer to him.
Mm.
They've just gone, oh, what's your email? And oh yeah, that's your fucking name.
Yeah.
So I'd like to keep that.
Mm.
The acting is so much fun and it's
Mm.
not reality.
Mm.
I like to keep that away from
That's a good
hard
point, yeah.
reality that I do.
Yeah.
Which is normally why I like to prepare a little bit more.
Oh, I see, yeah.
And keep the two apart.
Mm.
Like people at work
Mm.
don't know I act.
Mm.
No one.
No.
Like no one.
Mm.
It's a harsh juxtaposition
Mm.
between that creative
Mm.
playtime
Mm.
and the harsh reality of having to work and perform and
Mm.
run things that I do and have staff that report to me and so on.
Mm.
So I have to keep the two apart.
Mm.
Otherwise it blurs in.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good thinking, yeah.
And also I regret living so close to work. You know, I'm literally a 35-second walk to the office and everything gets blurred because it feels like you're still working.
Oh, okay, a bit
Right?
too close
So you go,
down.
oh, I'm going to go and get a burrito. Well, fuck, I walk past my office.
Mm.
There's my office right there.
Mm.
And too many people from work know that I live 30 seconds away from work.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's uphill, so it's 40 seconds.
That matters, yeah, yeah.
And you go to the local, the Rag and Fanish,
Mm.
right, which is the local pub, and you go, oh, I don't feel like cooking, so I'll go for a chicken snitty
Mm.
and a pint at the Rag, and you walk in, fuck, there's people from work there.
Mm.
You can't have
Separate.
that. Sometimes I think that half-hour travel time would be a good thing to wind the brain down, and you can transition from what you have to do to perform at work and who you are at work, and transition back to who you really are. Right? Even though at work you are who you are, right? But like the Sisters of Mercy song, when you don't see me, I disappear.
But I've never heard of that song.
Sisters of Mercy. You know, late 70s, 80s goth band, British.
Nice.
Favourite band, dude. Fuck yeah, absolutely. Sisters, Rammstein, Icebreaker, yeah.
Yeah, Sisters of Mercy.
Yeah, well, you young fellas, don't
Yeah.
fucking musical education.
It's born in the late 80s, so.
Yeah, that's why I was working as a mechanic.
Yeah. There you go.
But yeah, fuck, you've got to have that delineation. However, a lot of my acting skills I do use at work, right? Because I'll get up into a room and do a presentation for 3 hours in front of 10 people, 310 people, and there's no nerves there. It is the same as doing this script. Right? Well prepared, know your topic, get up and perform, and you're simply performing. Right? You're not there for any nervousness or fucking whatever. You know your material, and you're simply delivering your material. And out of all the things that I've done in acting in the last 25 years, it's been profitable in the fact that I can get up and train people, I can get up and do presentations. And a lot of it people don't want to hear too. Right? And I've probably trained in training people in systems about 5,500 people, I reckon. But in America, where I was living for a number of years in Iowa, or in Libya, trained thousands of people in Libya. And there you train like all different people. Like, you know, they could be the local Libyans, so their language skills are a little bit different, so you've got to be careful in the expressions you use, got to be very clear, and you've got to read the room a bit better. Because some people go, oh yeah, 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 and then you know they don't fucking get it. They have no idea what I'm talking about. But they're not as dumb as Americans.
Wow, what was Iowa like?
Iowa was great.
Yeah.
Iowa was really good. Lived in a small town, Burlington. It's like the regional town for the like corn, soy farms around it. So fucking people would say it's a backwater. Look, it fucking probably is. But I liked Burlington. Fucking great people, just fucking decent, normal people. Go to work and they fucking, you know, want to eat meals that are way too big. Very playful. You know, they're actually sort of very playful people. They'll go out all the time and go, oh hey man, let's go for a meal after work. Oh fuck yeah, okay. And they'll bring the whole family along. Oh yeah, we're going to fucking go for a meal. And it's like they're always happy to go out and just be people, talk about anything.
That's so interesting.
It was cold, mate. Fuck, it was cold. Oh my god, it's fucking cold. We'd be on site, right? Fucking you get up in the morning to go up to your car and there'll be ice. Like, you can't even open the fucking door. You got a chip there, it's minus 20 Celsius, and you got to chip the ice off your fucking door frame to get your door open of your car so you can get in your frozen car and start it up. So I had a remote start put in the car, so you get up, hit the remote start, the car would start, all the heaters would run, right? And then you'd, you know, have a shower and get ready for work. You walk outside and it was just enough snow melt that you could open the door, right? And the snow from the headlights coming on was just enough heat to get a bit of melt, so you just get your little broom, walk around the car, broom it off, drive to work, and try not to fucking slide off the highway.
Was that scary or?
No, never fucked up.
Did you see people fuck up or?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
In the ditches and carrying on. So, I had a heavy car. Big old grey Marquis V8, huge fucking, ridiculously huge thing, but pretty standard for them. Super comfy, and we had a big site. We had about 7,000 people on the job, all pipe welders and so on. And,
what was the population to that area?
Burlington was 22,000 people, and average income was 20 grand US a year.
Is that good, bad
It's
there?
like fuck all.
Oh, okay.
Right? Houses were cheap. Yeah, fuel was cheap. Food was cheap. They're very handy people. Like, they've always been preserving stuff. Very hands-on.
Like practical sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I see an apple tree. You know, the apple trees in the backyard, and they're preserving all that apples for winter and fucking. I often think a lot more handier than we are. We go to the shop, they make a lot of their stuff. And you'll see them go hunting. I was always invited, we're going deer hunting. You go, oh, yeah, no, I don't want to shoot fucking Bambi, mate. Then you say, I've never shot a gun in my life, mate. I'll be fucking dangerous if you gave me one. I'll end up shooting you.
Yeah.
And they go, what do you mean you never shot a gun in your life? I go, yeah, mate, fucking Australians, not Americans.
Yeah.
But fuck, they've all got guns, mate.
Yeah,
fucking all of them.
Yeah. All of them?
All of them.
Fuck.
Fucking all of them. They're everywhere. Fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
But, you know, I didn't see anyone get shot in Burlington. So.
No sort of like accidents low or homicides low?
Nah.
Yeah.
No, nothing that I saw or sort of heard of.
No.
And I got to know the locals really well. Like, really well, man. They were always out at, you know, pubs. And
Doing
pubs.
something, yeah.
Dude, they've got a lot of games at the you go to a pub, right, or a bar,
Yeah.
and they'll have games.
Yeah.
And like, there'll be a Monopoly board and fucking Jenga and all these fucking games where you know, grab a game and you sit there and you know, have a meal and, you know, knocking back some pints.
Yeah.
And the beer is as weak as piss, so you can drink a lot of it.
Yeah.
And you play games. You play fucking Monopoly and fucking Scrabble and shit. It's a real game fucking thing. And that fucking, what's that one with the fucking hacky sack, whatever it is, where you got the cornhole, where you've got the sack of corn and you throw it and there's a board, the hole in it, you've got to get it in the fucking hole.
Oh, okay.
And it's a real basic game, but it's actually fun because you're getting up and doing something.
Yeah.
You know, and you have a laugh. Oh, you fucking missed it. Oh, I got it. Yeah, you fucked cunts.
Pub cultures is so different.
And there you become very Australian too, so you use a lot of the expressions.
Okay.
You know.
You don't realise how much you use until.
Yeah, but you really put them on too. You really fucking.
Yeah, I've done that. Yeah. When I was in New York and all that. Just visiting my sister.
Yeah.
So somebody who speaks something in Australian, I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Say something in Australian. Yeah. Just say something in Australian. And I'm like, okay.
Okay, I did.
Yeah, I'm like, you want to have a root in the dunny, darling? I'm like, what are you talking about? You want to have a root in the dunny, darling? To say this.
So what, I have a root in the dunny, darling?
Yeah.
Fucking, you're a romantic cunt, aren't you?
So what do you guys do? And I'm like, oh, I shush the kangaroos off the harbour bridge. I'm like, do you really do that?
Fucking heaps of it, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to watch out for the drop bears that fucking drop it off.
Yeah.
I used to tell them about drop bears all the time, and yes, I do have a pet kangaroo. And when the pet kangaroo's been a little prick, and he's in the wrong area of the garden, you want to fuck him off.
Yeah.
You can't go and grab them because they'll box you.
Yeah.
Right? So you're gonna sneak up behind, grab them by the fucking tail, and when they jump, you can just move them, right? Because they're in the air by the tail, and they'll believe you.
Yeah. That's
oh fuck, is that a orang or a kangaroo?
Yeah.
You go, fuck yeah, absolutely.
All the time.
Yeah, all the time, mate. Fuck no. And in winter time, you stick your fucking stick your lunch in their pouch because the cats fucking
warm. Yeah.
Oh really, mate?
You ride them, My sister got fucking snubbed. My sister was there. That's what in New York. That's what visiting. So.
Yeah, York's really good during the day.
Yeah.
As soon as it goes dark. What the fuck is this place?
Yeah.
So
my sister's like, you can't be nice to people here. I'm like, what are you talking about? No, things you want something from them. You can't be nice.
No.
She's like,
Nice no matter what, mate.
Yeah. Because you can't be nice to people. Just do what you have to do and just go. Yeah. But, yeah. She lived actually in New York City and stuff, so that's what she was telling me. Because in country towns that you probably just talk about, she's like, yeah, sure, be nice, but not in New York City.
Oh, the country towns were good, man. It was fucking great. I had some really good friends there. Some really good fucking people. But I remember one time there was one expression. I was outside in the smoking area talking to the safety manager, this massive, big black guy, like huge guy. Sweet ass, like really fucking nice guy. And something that we were talking about, I said, oh yeah mate, well you can't put the shit back on the horse now, can you? And he's like, what the fuck? I said, well you can't put the shit back on the horse, it's fucked.
Yeah,
you know, once the horse is shit, you can't put it back in.
The toothpaste.
Oh, I'm going to use that. And then fucking all the time he was running inductions and stuff, and he would always say, now, once you fall off that ladder, you can't put the shit back in the horse.
There you go.
Yeah, it was good old times, mate. Fuck, too many years there though, hey?
Yeah. How long were you there for?
Oh, a few years.
Yeah.
We end up fucking looking like Americans because you eat too much.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Your perception of body weight changes.
Yeah?
You know, like, your skin's will come, you got to eat.
Yeah.
Right? As we're here, it's like you're normal and healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah? Because everyone's like big, and like, there's so many like really big people.
Yeah.
And everything's comfortable. Big cars.
Oh, okay.
Right? Big fucking seats.
Yeah.
You go to a restaurant, big seats. You go to, even McDonald's, the seats are like really fucking big.
Yeah. What about the serving portions?
Oh, huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
Like, huge. Fuck.
I
remember I was driving from New Jersey down through Pennsylvania, down to Tennessee.
Mm.
And on the return back to Tennessee, I was back through Pennsylvania, and there was a all-you-can-eat buffet KFC for $9.99 plus tax.
Mm.
For like $12 or something.
Mm.
And you could literally sit there, and there was a buffet of KFC. How many chicken fucking bits do you want? How many like burgers,
Yeah.
fried? Just, and you could sit there all day.
Did you say it was 24 hours or something?
No, it wasn't
Oh,
24
okay,
hours,
sorry.
but just about.
Yeah.
But it was like $12,
Mm.
all you can eat. You go there for breakfast, use their wireless. There'll be people in there working on their laptops. They'll eat just eat all day and all day and all day,
Mm.
and fuck off back to sleep. Then come back and eat KFC all day. That's all they do.
Okay.
Because it's $12 a day,
Mm.
and you can't eat cheaper.
Mm.
So it's like, oh, I'm full. Don't care that I'm like fat as a fucking house.
Mm. Fuck, yeah.
It's a weird concept too. Like, totally fucking weird.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've read some really good arguments that sugar should be taxed like cigarettes in Australia.
Fuck tax, no
Yeah.
tax. That's up to you. It's
Yeah.
up to me. It's up
Yeah,
to
that's
fucking whoever.
yeah. Yeah.
Right? Oh, fuck that. No,
Yeah,
it
that's
should be no
actually
tax.
good. That's actually a common counter argument sort of thing.
Mm.
Yeah, self control.
Mm. Absolutely. Taxation is fucking theft.
Yeah.
Yeah? Fuck that. So who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? And who am I to tell you what to do? Fuck that. No, man. No. Don't tell us what to do. Those who have political power enjoy telling us what to do.
Yeah.
I say fuck off. Who are you? We elected you to represent us, not to fucking rule us. You don't rule me. Yeah? I don't go and hurt anyone, nor do you. What the fuck is there to be ruled about?
It's a good point, yeah.
If I want to fucking be a fat prick, that's my issue.
Yeah, that's a good...
If I want to be
yeah.
fucking anorexic little prick, that's my issue too. Somewhere in between, it's probably not a bad thing. Yeah?
Actually, after you read what's his name, Roger Scruton, there's a guy, an economist called Thomas Sowell. Thomas Sowell. He actually, he's got a great arguments like that. Because this is what you do, because he filters through economics and stuff. So,
I have very fucking clear views that you can go and do whatever the fuck you want to do, as long as you don't cause harm.
yeah.
Right? And so don't cause harm to another person, or don't cause harm to society, such as you're going to go and vandalise fucking something, smash a window or something, you're doing some form of harm. No harm, go and do what you want to do. Right? Just simple as that. And if you don't look after your health and you end up in hospital, we'll pay for that anyway. Right? As opposed to fuck all. Fuck that. Fucking your income should be your income. It should be taxed. It should be taxed under $1 million. And the government will scream, oh, fucking how are we going to pay for shit? We'll stop paying for all the fucking shit that we don't need. You know? All stupid fucking, computers for digital currency, computers for digital identities, and fucking rules for this, rules for that. Fuck off.
Yeah. I think in France, I could be wrong, on your pay slips, it shows you where your tax goes, like tax money goes from your income.
Tax certain he does too.
Yeah. Like, say your job pays $1,200 a week, whatever. Your taxes, so hypothetically, $400 from that. Your pay slip will go, your $400 in tax goes here. This area is public service.
Yeah. No, fucking personal income tax is just shit.
Yeah.
The rich don't pay tax anyway because of tax minimisation. Right? True rich never pay tax.
Yeah.
Right? Because they have income, but they don't have taxable income. They move things around. Expenses are covered by the businesses. And look, fucking, good on them. Right? But it's the poor that always get fucked every single time.
You know what I was reading? I was listening to a guy called Jack Goldstone. Sorry. He's saying a popular common argument against tax from the extreme wealthy people is that the more money you take from them, the less money they can invest in their business.
Well, that's
Yeah,
the question.
yeah.
At what point do they stop investing their income,
Yeah.
their money into business?
That's their
Right.
massive argument. Yeah.
Okay, so you fucking go, you're a chef, you go, oh, I'll start my own fucking restaurant, right? Everything you earn, you're putting back into your business to build your business up. Then all of a sudden you've got 1,000 of these. And all of a sudden you've got a fucking international thing. All of a sudden you're making $100 million a year. At what point do you stop investing in it and you're hoarding? Right? Oh, fucking look, if you can fucking do your thing, do your thing. Go and do your thing. Right? It's hard to find the balance because you always piss someone off. However, when we have shit ton of homelessness, shit ton of people missing meals, and people that can't pay their fucking power bills because cost of living is too high, then we have an issue.
Yeah.
If there wasn't homelessness, if there was a lot of public housing, if power bills were affordable, right, and we didn't have all these taxes on fucking everything, then I don't give a fuck what the rich go and make, right? If we can solve the proletariat issues.
Yeah, because that is a common cause of homelessness is not enough personal support. So if somebody's living paycheck to paycheck and that business goes under, within a couple of weeks he's destitute financially. That is, yeah.
And when you're fucking destitute, you've got no money and whatever else, your brain is thinking, what am I going to eat tonight?
Yeah.
Right? What am I going to eat? You're not thinking fucking clearly after a period of time.
Yeah.
Because it's just, what am I going to eat next for survival?
Yeah, because that's a common complaint in brackets, whatever, from people who work with homeless. It's like their thinking is so short term. Yeah. It's hard to get them off the street.
It fucking has to be.
Yeah.
It's survival.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. It's hard to find after a period of time. Their thinking never goes beyond the immediate day, sort of thing.
That's where the whole theory of universal basic income comes in.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
Well, fuck. I put it to you that if every resident or citizen from the 18th birthday onwards received $400 a week, every week, the same time every week, right? And there was no pensions, no unemployment benefits, there was no fucking any of those social security fucking things, and you abolish the Department of Social Security and have the tax office, because they've got our details anyway, just pay you $400 a week, every week, right? Whether you earn 50 grand or 250 grand, it doesn't matter, you get it, right? Then, all these poor cunts that don't have $3 to get the fucking bus to go put their dole form in, and they fucked up their dole form for whatever reason, and they get cut off the dole, and payments are fucked up, and all this sort of shit, and they're forced more into destitution. If you had $400 a week, every week, you can do as you please. Now you might say, oh, that $400 a week, I'm going to continue work, I'm going to make $600 a week from my work, so I'll make $1,000 a week. So this $1,000 a week, I can do whatever, right? Or you can go, oh, I'm a struggling writer, and I want to, study something. My $400 a week is going to fucking pay my food and some share accommodation, but it's there every week. Not putting in study, not putting in fucking all this other shit. And what's the cost of running Social Security? All their offices, computers, wages, staff, all their fucking shit.
Yeah.
Fuck it all off. Gone. And everyone gets $400 a week. From cradle to grave, but index it to inflation, so it's above the poverty line. Right? So in years to come it will go up, and it will go up as costs of living go up. Is that not fair?
No, that's a good point.
And then probably still the same fucking cost. 25 million people, 20 grand a year, fucking easy out, non-taxable. You get it, that's it. Twiggy Forrest will get it. Everyone gets it. You can't put any constraints on it, because if you do, the constraints then get tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter until no gets it again.
Because somebody's always going to fuck it up too.
So, of course, politicians are born to fuck it up, narcissistic freaks. You'd have to be a fuckwit narcissistic cunt to even consider politics.
Yeah. Are you a fan of South Park or?
Yeah.
Have you seen that episode, or one of the episodes had, the animals rights group PETA? Yeah.
People eating tasty animals.
Yeah. They had PETA was protesting the school because the mascot was like a cow or something. But at the same time, the school was trying to vote in a replacement mascot, since PETA kept attacking the school. And somebody invented a giant douche, and the other person invented a turd sandwich in between the school for the new school mascot. And one of the boys, I think it was Stan, he goes, "I just don't see the point of voting between a giant douche or a turd sandwich," because he didn't see the importance of voting. He got exiled and somehow wandered on this PETA camp. He just thought of something like, one of the guys, "Oh, Stan, why won't you vote? Because I just don't see the difference." He goes, "But Stan, don't you get it? It's politics. The people who get that fun in the game, it's either a giant douche or a giant turd sandwich."
Absolutely.
You got any idea how much cock they have to suck to get that position? Yeah.
Absolutely, man. It's like, voting for the two-party system that we have. We go, you're fucking kidding.
Yeah.
It's shithead and shit nuts.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. Where's the change?
Yeah.
When you look around the streets, mate, has anything really changed?
Yeah. The guy I just mentioned, Jack Goldstein, he reckons that's the problem, is the economic balance. Because then, if one guy, it's where you place your economic values in, the politicians that do, that's where, regardless, 'cause in their leisure time, he'd vote. If it's not conspiracy, where that politician spends his leisure time outside of work and derives his most value or entertainment from that area, that's going to drip into his politics. Then he's going to support the political party that kind of politically keeps that area of his life running, if that makes sense. And he reckons behind the scenes, the conspiracy side, the owners of those areas compete amongst one another. If that makes sense. Yeah. So that's because the politicians have their free time, whatever their family or their immediate friends and stuff, because that's their echo chamber of personal world, sort of thing.
But you would
that makes
imagine
sense,
that
yeah.
as whatever fucking politician is walking through Sydney, coming from the Opera House to go down to the fucking, the Marble Bar, they'll see these homeless fucking people sleeping in sleeping bags. And to be honest, I think that they think, good, I'm glad every cunt can see this fucking cunt sleeping homeless, because if you don't do what we're told, we're telling you to do, you don't do what you're fucking told, that's how you're going to end up.
Yeah.
And I think they leave that poor prick there as a fucking symbol to the rest of us to comply, or that's what you're going to fucking end up. Destitute, freezing fucking cold, hungry, and dirty.
That's the thing. There's finishing this.
Understanding are senseless words in the sea called Earth. To emulate the world you see, you'll be robbing the world of something original. When one needs to vent in poetry, to vent and to throw truth in the words, hatred will be cast upon you. 2,000 years ago, Plato spoke the most honest, truthful advice that I've ever read, and in so far, no living person has outdone him. However, the loneliest person in this world we all share is the one who speaks the truth. It's as isolating as the famous who got their fame as a byproduct of hard work and talent. This life is meant to be praised now, while we all have it. There's a lot more time to praise death, as for now death is forever. As I've heard before, life is meant to be enduring in a series of losses. I've never taken a close to dealing with the conflicting duality of being myself as an original person, to do all these things I've wanted to experience, and balance out being a member of any community or society, where they praise me, doing things successfully, when it's the same things as them, as long as it's the same things as them, on how these frowns pressed upon from them is a turn-off. Not only opening myself up to honesty, but it's a slap in the face when it doesn't motivate me to reach out and try something new. I regret every part I've had from every lover. I've had so many poems to give them, to which I haven't. I've breathed in inflamed passions in the form of autumn bowls of roses, both in literature and in my own life. They cannot express elsewhere, besides myself and my secret dialogue, my mind and inner world. It's kind of losing your virginity every day. I am, and so far, the only who truly understands myself. It's both to never be acquainted with myself. Neither should anyone else. Fuck, I got to the right.
Sorry about the noise too.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
I just wasn't expecting it.
That's
But no, I
actually,
did.
yeah. It's my bad. I should have said something.
No, that's right. Yeah, you fucking make that. To never be acquainted with myself, neither should no one else. And a life with leisure, never to be. But to what tempts us may not be necessarily sinful. Immerging oneself into daily, everyday life where it's been done before by everyone else, the greatest revenge one could do to themselves. I think not of others, what takes for them to give up on their own real character under peeling onion skin, but of me, knowing the difference between reputation and character, dreams and reality, rather it's my own motivation, my drive that causes most angst, a fight over laziness. I'm not highly strung, just in search of myself, and have become aware of what is quality that applies to its own essence, which is in sadness, will let some know. They have not much quality to my essence. I cry, whether it is right or wrong. I do think about the point of novels. Maybe it's nothing but a conversation without the other present, other than reading philosophy history books. They're just conversations of history, but have no shame of leaving notes in books. I still suspect Grace Kelly is the best celebrity to take tabs of LSD with. Maybe regret is only what a ghost can dream of doing. I have a mind of paradoxical levitation, an overtone of sullen and sombre. You'll not be noticed as you contribute to reality. To what I really want, maybe just emotional existing. No one talks death, no one braces themselves, and everyone complains about the threaded images, death in the media. Most immorality here on earth will come about. At least when it happens, it'll be the first time I'm able to let go. Society couldn't care about you, but it wouldn't be a society without you. Be at peace, not in resentment with anyone. All too few take self-responsibility for themselves. Corruption always starts from the inside, the same space as humility. I've always felt awkward. It stems from consciousness, I think. To what you'll see, my eyes, depends on your mood and your respect for you. Launch into life. Only time lasts forever. How precious can a human be? To know what you know about me entirely depends on your effort. Perceptions can be entirely misleading or truthful. I'm as free as you are, with fears, flaws, shortcomings, past sins, living now in the present, with yearnings, dreams and wishes. The interest in wholesome traits brought us together. Only the thinking observer could ever possibly my best friend. As the patterns of life change, so does a person. Do not blame fear. Blame yourself for not giving into the alluring addiction of it. Let people see only the amends I make, not what brings my success or the fruit of it, for that's reserved for thy lover, like my secrets. I often wonder how my own life is made from other people's thoughts, being born freely and without permission. Maybe fate is to blame, and we have the right to do so. Though unfortunately, with the debate and arguments for freedom and for fate, we're all alive. Thoughts and moods permitting one's own actions, the music we listen to, poems that we read, the subjects of conversations amongst peers. Still, I have no love towards the mundane, the dull and the uneventful moments that have attached itself to my life like a plague. Sure, it's lacking radiance, excitement. Most go through their entire youth in dreams, adding to their innocence. As we all grow, still without permission, our spirit grows tired. Questions in the sense of trying. Most fall into the mundane and dull part of life. There are many names and faces for it. Some will call it the middle class, conformity, and institutions. But I can't really blame people for trying to ease their own life, trying to get what they can. Most settle in and accept it, using their duration of life to perfect their part in the areas of mundane, dull, and normal. But it isn't widely accepted or known. Most will die in private, whimpering. Whilst it's forgotten, society is nothing but a collection of individuals. It's not too sure where I'm all going with this, but it's a shame it's easier to sin than to contribute to goodness. While making something of myself in this world, in this lifetime, I put no fault or blame on anyone. I guess the step into the whole life that leads to personal loneliness is to take the responsibility for my actions that are derived from my own thinking, rather than to blame the normal, the mundane, the dullness of it all. And even the laymen have their own skills, perhaps some that I do not hold myself, like the ability to go and socialise without one thread of angst or a flow of conversation. But I won't accept it. It is to put down one on another level, to make them feel better about themselves or not doing anything with the time that they have. There isn't anything wrong with the individual, and if others can benefit from it, then let it be. Whether it's my own success, enjoying those fruits, or noticing my own mistakes and not repeating the same actions. Sorrow belongs to the hopeless romantics. Love belongs to the brave enough to follow through. Poetry is nothing but a set of these, unrelated to love, a small life lesson from those regretting their time in education. The only person to take seriously is the one in an attempt to make something of themselves. Them or Audrey Hepburn? What is death? What is the loss of life that's never lived? Or something that happens to strangers and people that you know when their body fails and shrivels up? Grief just prolongs the duration, straining the emotion to feel hell on earth. Soulmates bring heaven here. Right for a quick smoke. It's tiring and completely engaging in my personal rising and falling. My own emotions is an extremity because they're the emotions I feel. They're like an orchestra. In any loneliness is quality time with myself. My own struggle is not the endurance of these moods, but to open myself up. And I do worry over that daunting moment when love sparks and the second guessing if I ever do. I'm only a torrent of mixing substance. Double when I start. Sorry. It's tiring and completely engaging in my personal rising and falling. My own emotions is an extremity because they're the only emotions I feel. They're like an orchestra. In any loneliness is quality time with myself. My own struggle is not the endurance of these moods, but to open myself up, and I do worry over that daunting moment. When love sparks and the second guessing if I ever do, I'm only the torrent of mixing substance, double when I begin to ponder on my thoughts. Justice does not belong in trends. It's the same with faith, nor should it be a collective of people, just the individual. Somber in a world, my own sins and shortcomings have been too intimate for my taste. I'd rather be absent from it. What is poetry? And should there be an absolute best one? Nothing else sobers my entire being than what reality does. I just desire so much to have a conversation as a memory. A life lived is always overdue, no matter how much one yearns, dreams, or prays. But compassion now for what I hear, for what I hear. The regret of it is far too strong in one's final moments to live in before their last breath. Life always presents the best veils, garnished with art, a stream of meditations. It is the work of thinking intelligence or a collective result from culture. Despair inside on what to pick, to wear, to enter and to be a part of. Never is there a fashion to encourage to create my own and learn how to fuse with what is established. Maybe that no matter what, ooh, fucked that one up. Read that as what instead of much. Are you ready?
Yeah, go for gold.
Maybe that no matter how much reality alters, only freedom itself can remain untouched, sinless, and never to be blinded. It's freeing like a dream. Even worse, maybe every dream that's in the air, over tables, shopping strips, between or over cups of coffee, in passionate discussion among friends, becomes a bland, both unsentiment and sentimental barrow of diluted clay, still and advancing beyond maturity, remaining a virgin. Foolish to think that private romantics do not hold reservoirs of hidden poems around. They do. They more secret than skull and bones, and only for their soulmate. For their soulmate doesn't come true or follow through. The musings will melt in the flood of the earth in saturated worth. What's worth envy? Do not lose your identity when trying to fit in. Life is too boring when it's all the same. What is truly worth a society's time to hate and protest? No one here will be here so active in the future. I went not into poetry as something to do, for as long as I can remember, I had issues to express and to articulate my thoughts and emotions. Looking back on hindsight, learning of what should have been said, and when it comes to it now, I fall short. I write my conceptions and throw it to the public domain, so it has some sort of life and left to be lingering in potential discovery. So nothing goes unsaid in terms of love and romance. I suffer from those emotions and wanting experience. It reminds me that I am alive and there is a better quality out of life. I write no poem for attention, regardless of the joy I feel from when I do. I write love poems as a way of compensation when my hands go without touching love. To philosophy, love never to be experienced, tragedy to myself. For what is thinking in thoughts? Why is love valued so high? Time is mastered over my bodies and actions are obscured. Time is life's best jester, and laughing, always dancing and always on the move. It never sleeps or rests, while it conquers everyone. Some romantics are selfish, but for the right reasons, patiently waiting for one person, filling out the frame, a figure as their soulmate, keeping themselves closed up for them. Opening moments of love is an explosion of love, pure and true love, sweeter than honey, smoother than silk, always better than the poetry and drama. The explosion never burns out, like the tip of a candle, as it grows in a progressive burn, like the cosmos. It's something like this Shakespearean drama that had searched for, poems written around it, entire musings are existing for. It's not often someone meets their soulmate, few are even following through. Dreamings and fulfilling thoughts, in my experience, the moments of action, creating nostalgia, as others don't. It takes almost an entire lifetime to perfect that role. It's because they've reached out a bit of breaking fatigue and settling into wanting an illumination, resulting in normality. Like most in family view, like a paradox, knowing one thing and doing the polar opposite. There will others be, Will others be a duality when it comes to love and marriage? Love is for that romantic, keeping tight grips on themselves as marriage for those who cave in, breaking bits and fitting into family view. I turn to art not to be cool or different, not to separate myself from the mainstream. It's the same for your meditation, a search for oneself that I haven't myself in experience. It's only taking Plato's advice, take advantage of another's labour, a photo, a painting, images of touching perfectionism, constructing and careful thoughts, the ability to see something that I've never noticed. Reading poetry and literally fiction to convey feelings, moods and sensations where yesterday I could not. Documentaries to learn, a cinema to explore my world from my tiny world. It's because I constantly worry I can never express myself in such a way that I couldn't build something from, ending in a way of moulding myself into being another, which is only normal rather than being original. Take this not as philosophy, but just diary entries. I'm no more clever or dumber than another. For that, I'll match the same to another. Experience is never duplicated in reality. Today, I won't invalidate another person. It's hard enough to feel good based on my own experience, but it's shameful to give in. That life happens to others and never to me. We've all got our problems, but we've all got something we're good at. Maybe, regardless, I need to greet both with a smile. I'm a servant to myself,
To myself, thinking of the past compared with my present and different to my steps to the future, I'm unable to live another's life. Despite my dreams and envy, if you really want to hurt or disappoint your parents, be another person than them. Live another life. This price for this will be constant arguments, bickering and frowns at the gossiping cafes. This applies to your peers as well. But the fruits, originality, and possible innovation, this could lead to loneliness, but it could mean intoxication. Might bring empty bank accounts, but illuminating wisdom. Telling stories, leading ecstasy, attention of for your meditation. A search for oneself that I haven't myself in experience. It's only taking Plato's advice. Take advantage of another's labour. A photo, a painting, images of touching perfectionism, constructing and careful thoughts, the ability to see something that I've never noticed. Reading poetry and literary fiction to convey feelings, moods and sensations where yesterday I could not. Documentaries to learn, a cinema to explore my world from my tiny world. It's because I constantly worry I can never express myself in such a way that I couldn't build something from, ending in a way of moulding myself into being another, which is only normal rather than being original. Take this not as philosophy, but just diary entries. I'm no more clever or dumber than another. For that, I'll match the same to another. Experience is never duplicated in reality. Today, I won't invalidate another person. It's hard enough to feel good based on my own experience, but it's shameful to give in. That life happens to others and never to me. We've all got our problems, but we've all got something we're good at. Maybe, regardless, I need to greet both with a smile. I'm a servant to myself. To myself, thinking of the past compared with my present and different to my steps to the future. I'm unable to live another's life. Despite my dreams and envy, if you really want to hurt or disappoint your parents, be another person than them. Live another life. This price for this will be constant arguments, bickering and frowns at the gossiping cafes. This applies to your peers as well. But the fruits, originality, and possible innovation, this could lead to loneliness, but it could mean intoxication. Might bring empty bank accounts, but illuminating wisdom. Telling stories, leading ecstasy, attention of vagabond lifestyle or any style that completely shuts out the outside world. To abandon a family or the people you knew since childhood. Just a life worth living. The spectrum of human history is overloaded of the most normal people, the mundane, the working class, trends and protests. There is so much of that. There is no amount of money you could pay a historian to write about it. Not because of boredom, but because it will take more than a lifetime to do so. There is no bliss or any inner marvellous world inside replicating another person. They must live their own life. Right or wrong? What does it take to live a fully and original life? Is it to burn everything that I know, leaving it all behind in maddening exile? To disregard females' faces? Forgetting current thoughts and producing new thinking? Never answered this question. If you could, what would you change about this world? Only tyrants and false prophets have any control of it. Maybe the trends of culture, wrestling with the good and the devil. You've only got control over yourself, despite any joy or disappointment that brings. I've heard and sat down to think about the truth for far too long. I do wish to deny it. I ignore it, or to stop finding it. For me personally, romantic, I've turned to poetry as a compensation as my life lacks a soulmate. To me, truth is embodied in thee, a way to change colours, to make life fulfilling, passing content and meaning, the ability to apply oneself to another, as a world and a personal history is slowly forgotten and devalued, wanting to be one saving rather not knowing at all. It's one that ends up being saved. I often feel sorrow for those in marriage that still obliges the demands of life. Rather go to work than spend the day with the other. Watch poetry. For suffering under the thought that it could never get better and that you finally hit that wall. You'll never find out more about the other. Never to be open again and be vulnerable in front of. I've read this page. That's what you want.
Yeah.
Case is right.
It's really beautiful, to be honest. Yeah, it's actually really.
I'll just start a line back so you can cut.
That's it. So let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, when you're ready.
Yeah. When you're ready.
Never to be open again and to be vulnerable in front of. Laughing gestures, placing boundaries. When if love is true, all walls are broken. If it's love, nothing else matters beside the others. Those demands on life should always be there after thee, never before or equal. Plus, it's mundane outside to want three lovers do. It's like money. It still can't buy love. And sex isn't the only form of intimacy. Love, marriage, spouses, partners, soulmates, whatever the title, it's like anything else. You get what you have the courage to get. Knowing what's true and lustful, it's hard to explain. Intermixing and interchangeable moods and emotions, unlike thoughts or poetry, they can't truly express. For I never know who the other is. Until then, only the hopeless romantics die from a broken heart. Like I've said before, I want to make something of myself. So it is therefore a lifetime of attempting that. Like the unveiling of my own character and wisdom to attain things. I shall too look at what motivates me in doing so, and do my best to thaw out any ill, such as fear, worry, anger and resentment that always matches jealousy. The feeling of realisation they didn't. I got confused with living in hell. Now it's like trust is a tantalising myth. People are nothing to worship. I'm delicate, fragile, and sensitive because of it. I do blame myself for it too. And I take everything to heart. I wish I had permission to write about all of it in detail. It could be something to leave behind for future generations. I always have been living my life. Then something bad always has happened. I had to take a stand on something. I wouldn't. I'm sure in my own culture, my own moods and thoughts, moonlight investigations, no sunlight dimmers here. I've dwelled for too long, diseased with solipsism, all because I wanted to discover myself, seeing myself only at night, after a couple of sunsets, rendering being unattached. I wish poetry wasn't written with bitter tears of vinegar in my hands. I regret the people I have met and who have left, or I have left. Now I know who I am without, or at least my heart freed from shame. Even if I am forgiven for my past transgressions, my personal fear has me worried and trembling in times of calm and peace. Turmoil forever, vanquish, grief, loathing always, pity me nothing. It's like I've actually died inside, remaining speechless when I cry for help. No one is ever converting. In a palace, I can weep for myself. I would rather no one else would do so. Bach and Mozart, don't break up the fight, let them rumble. I'll blame no gatekeepers, no master. I blame the people who had wronged me. Anyone else? I blame myself. Sad existence forsaking literature that cannot fully translate into film or lush and moving symphonies, defaming no one besides the life I could have had like anybody else. Where I use words instead of just sobbing to a caring shoulder like what others do. Things fully consume my grandeur character. I wasn't born poetic, just by choice. Now I'm addicted to it. To each poem ever written, a deep melange, an ode you could say, an ideal, a wish, something to aspire others to do and to be better, without the poet doing it themselves. A pleasure to read such sweet words, bandaged to private pains the reader. I've never really had many people to talk to growing up. I lived in a remote area. I read to pass the time. Protests only living conditions that reality had laid out already. I don't know who to read from the Bronte sisters. I'm unable to escape my own wrongdoings. Solace, escapism, fantasy, ode. To each poem I write, beauty in the art does not compensate for the ugliness I know I'll eventually experience again. How sad is it when feeling how pointless life feels sometimes? I don't know why I'm writing in the first place. I don't have literally goals. When I was an orphan, experienced everything, including reading over theology, maddening grief, making humanity mad, a self-made disease. I applied Satanism into my life, not to worship the devil, but a devotion to a Turkish delight. I'm all too eager in some aspects of my character. I am interested in Victorian melodrama, providing aberration to Jane Austen. Shakespeare will always outshine modern playwrights. Winter is cold and summer is hot, the scarlet letter curse. I was predestined to be the mistress of those others. Oh, God, why is it that I taste love in romance, but have never experienced a full stomach? Inspiring my very essence to be withdrawn without second guessing. People believe that I don't sacrifice rabbits or even do retarded shit. That firmly believes, like their deep convictions, that the sun will rise in the morning, that I'm made of divine heaven material to be amused walking this earth, though the sun rises daily. I am dead inside, and only the passing of time, seeking now only deeper and more meaningful reasons to shun society from my personal inner life. I'm a toy soldier to my own despair. To beauty in people comes at a price of being permanently damaged by their ugliness. Trust me, I'm no failing to blossom. The common shared trait. Memories got me doing seizing twitches like demons exist. Like in transparent ways, reality rejects my very existence. No one's life lasts long. The rules of the heart demand slavery. While I'm shy of my own confidence, people look up to me, not as a foreigner, but as an alien, reminding them of a life they could have lived if I hadn't conformed to petty, idle, cultural ideas or that of their family norms, abandoning me in their angst. I am a fan of Glenn Gould. I'm deeply affected by life itself. Ideals are trapped in human potential. Inspiration lays within their open mouth. It breaks personal solace. It's a kind of love that never dims. Confessing sin? Perhaps. Earth buries his bodies, not in its sin. No horror, nothing ugly. Hopes and dreams destroy as many people as fear and doubt. Personal grace illuminates the sins. Not everyone transcends. Wisdom fathoms. I'm in an emotional turmoil always. I guess to an extent, poetry are things I've always wanted to say or should have said. A holy mystery. In Hollywood, it's an average 10 years to become an overnight success. The woman who you would fall in love with is the mother to all queens. Do not wait until after establishment and success to tell the truth. Any poem I've written with hope, privilege, joy, whatever, is only a mask of my personal pain. My weary soul is not for you. Charming ways of sweet discourse. Tears overlay the of holy, no one else will. The only anguish cries people hear are their own. A banner, a mask, a veil. People withdraw from rough times. It's the only time they do. To anyone basing their character on traits or art or artists, I feel sorry for you. It's easy for me to save others because I'm unable to save myself. The people you love is a different expression of Judas. At the end of the day, I am not very mystical. I just went after the traits that people wish they had. Do not cite poets, philosophers, artisans, titans of industry. Cite only yourself. Everyone comes and goes. Those people you idolize, they're only messengers. The older I get, the less I value other people. I have reasons to. The recalling of past errors affecting my present, providing no hope for the future. It's a funny thing. The people who see me in the light, or I have done what they've always wanted, want nothing to do with me. The ones who don't embrace me blindly, and I'm damaged for loving the wrong people. I'll kill anyone or sell my soul to get back with the knowledge I have now. If I could start my life from scratch, you'll be the last person I would see. I'm not a pillar, just a pillar of clusterfucks. Life will always elude you. It doesn't come out of your soul. Birth doesn't mean chosen. When constant tribulations are around, a change of face will apply over your face. Perplexity arises, empty papers where the aesthetic of words aren't being filled, bursting nothing, a life without God. I'm entering the city obsolete. I'm never renouncing the glory of kingdoms or of higher powers. At the end of the day, I guess I'm paying homage to hell. Human life is distinctively divine in mysteries. Where it's explained, it's useless. A mind is a kingdom, exalting faith in every aim and ache that you'll keep to yourself. Private confessions between personal dialogue, exchanging ideas within dreams. Shame. They stay silent when they walk, because talk is cheap. When you give attention, praise them. Death is about to come. Living this life in this world, no resplendent beauty, no redemption and salvation. I've got so much to say. Life is a rapist. I have definitely read this one. Life is a rapist, and I have been shot at 5 times, and I'm still breathing. With no hands out, I won't be going alive. I was predestined to be forsaken. On my tattooed chest is where the cheating wise rest. Oh poetry, why is it that I have so many snakes and fakes? No one, everyone I meet is a liar at face value. A glorious fame I'm enduring. I'm dying inside. It's been a long time since running with a posse of paranoid drug dealers. I've envied those who God listens to. I'm hell-bent with hatred hatred to those who he replies to. Outlawed forever, a peerless beauty, unnoticed originality, uncared, not loved, my heart beats fast. It is time to die. It's been written, God doesn't like ugly. Flinting diamonds, warm tears to poetry, a call of rope to hang from, borrowing the heart of poetry just to breathe. I'm unplugged from this world. Still in the devil I trust. Your morals and virtues are crippling jails. I'll be joining you when you realise that you have lived for nothing. The result of secret linkage in bloodlines resulted in culture and civilization. To where humanity is being manufactured beyond the detail, the devil is in the afterglow. Hail him, now and forever. No one is poor by choice. Material richness is a pimp's game. The commonplace dies. The devil boxes with God. You're not even in his afterthoughts. Bleeding, please, as everyone dies. No one questions why life is born and is always on the incline to death. When you see an original mystic, pay respect to them or get shell-checked. Everyone gets wrecked and their secrets are exposed, to which I know. Perhaps this is why I am so alone. Pointless at side, splashing acid, then he'll care. I had an addict for a wife. It's my life. Poetry bangs more than street fame. As I remain a paradox in your life, I want to witness my enemies die. Taking their last breath, I'll curse them in tongues, strangle their throat. It's slower, more painful. I'll spit at the priest. He don't give a fuck about your problems anyway. Life itself is a dirty circle. Get them suffering. They'll tell you everything. Abacuses, poets, thinkers, drinking tea, a silhouette against a dark sky, darkening everything else. In the heart of life that dwells inside of anyone and everyone lives an inhumane part of them. I'm lost and confused, so I blame conspiracy. My mouth has tasted too much bad luck, off tuna. I follow misfortune everywhere. The glitz and glamour presses permissions for anyone who pays attention to it, to do vice. I'm not anti-anything besides falsehood. Admire only a select few, but only go after the rare in those few. Artists and merchants of beauty stand naked against an oak tree. A person's life is bathed in torture. What's a redwood tree? People are only interested in scandals because it distracts the public life and yourself from the moments that cause scandals from your own life. Everyone, including me, transcendent fucks. Poetry forms love because it's an empty doorway, a morbid intimacy. When a heart breaks, it trembles the earth and adds to culture, mainly romance art. It's a terrible journey that burdens themselves with, for being awestruck to wanting to kill. Drama is an interesting moment of life. Literature producing an ecclesiastical gasp. Narrative paintings translate, brushes as voices, as remaining placid till death. Poetry alone cannot visit the Horn of Africa. It's only up to the individual to live up to their own potential. Deep and dreamless sleep. Lives transition into myth, hastening all up, tightened lips, criticising others. I don't know what's happening in the future, but I do know that I'd rather not wait for it. People need remedies in life, just not yours. I have tattoos, cradling people, discipline of poetry, skies full of ecstasy. thoughts wafting across vast lands of mind with no substances, fat raining that rattles the sky, Virgil leading me into hello, bleeding gums, I don't smile, a thirst for knowledge, I like birds who gossip, it's a good conversation, that I would argue with philosophy, essential part of life, philosophy quotes, a nostalgic heart for ancient history, forehead frowning, capturing the history of charcoal slowly dimming away, living without knowing. Plenty of blaring horns, but with what little time I have, I'm going to do my best to shift my flaws and try to impact the life of others. Withering flowers, stars fall from the night sky, the sun rises over poetry. Nothing is now new. We're all going to die before our time comes. When we can master reality, the people play around with trivial, petty things, including dealing with the wrong people. Nobody truly knows how to treat one another, like never getting what they want on their birthday. Silent people working in idle factories. It's a hustle. Reversing realised, a final show, a feeling of being alarmed, a notion of guilt. A notion of guilt. Pioneerish for an artist's life, it makes them for a lonely one. Dismissing everything else. Swirling taunts of fallen leaves from trees that don't want to be there in the first place. Art attributes everywhere. Fabulous elephant, a soul that is sunken into stupor, not because the realities of life, just seen for life for what it is. A memory of dazzling smiles, fleeing of floating skin, feelings of letting loose. Perception isn't under question. I've conquered nothing, and I've lost everything. Spun a web, luminary of time, life proved elusive. Flaws of the mind, succulent of petty life details. Immortality belongs to the youth, the grievous fault of reality, a shimmering magical haze, where our own eyes are covered in tenant culture, disgusting. I'm preparing to give up all poetry, literature, art, and film. Sewers of blood, unleashing poetics, die now, die never afterwards. Modern times, everyone is in a period of history. It will always be vulnerable. I think everyone's life is a slip of the paintbrush by the genius painter. Some with full lips, thinned out corona hair, possibly blue eyes, to which, if I had blue eyes, I'd be a sellout. Classical jazz music, avant-garde symphonies. I tried to contribute to people's lives. All I got, smile, then they left. A wound of love from a labour of love. Declining of French champagne, importing cigarettes, smoking while relaxing over silken cushions. Amber-like colours, but it's all velvet. A burnt lover. I've heard of unexamined life. What about the unexplained life? Is that worth living? Is history destiny? Tormenting poetry is tormenting truth. Denial is strong, just as strong as truths are. I have a disease that they don't know what to call it. Proof is in their actions. Drug sickness got my eyes doing some mad twitches. Your husband tried to slap me. Your husband tried to slap me because I returned your pictures. Dumb enough to get into the arts, making me dumb enough to ask out Selima Gomez. How can I be trained in poetry? You can't even see through your mist. When in despair I think of eternity, along with grandeur, intensity, hellish glory, pressed upon my own soul, a heavy weight secret philosophy. It's tiring and completely engaging in my personal rising and falling. My own emotions is an extremity because they're the emotions I feel. They're like an orchestra. In any loneliness is quality time with myself. My own struggle is not the endurance of these moods, but to open myself up. And I do worry over that daunting moment when love sparks and the second guessing if I ever do. I'm only a torrent of mixing substance. Double when I start again, sorry. It's tiring and completely engaging in my personal rising and falling. My own emotions is an extremity because they're the only emotions I feel. They're like an orchestra. In any loneliness is quality time with myself. My own struggle is not the endurance of these moods, but to open myself up, and I do worry over that daunting moment when love sparks and the second guessing if I ever do. I'm only the torrent of mixing substance, double when I begin to ponder on my thoughts. Justice does not belong in trends. It's the same with faith, nor should it be a collective of people, just the individual. Somber in a world, my own sins and shortcomings have been too intimate for my taste. I'd rather be absent from it. What is poetry? And should there be an absolute best one? Nothing else sobers my entire being than what reality does.